Click, click, boom. What's going on, faithfuls? The Nothing But Niners crew is back, and we are here to bring you guys a special mini-series here. This is going to be Who Are the 49ers? This is going to be part one, and we're going to start with a basic game review of the Arizona Cardinals game Thursday night from last week. The Niners are sitting here, guys, 8-0. We have played officially half of our regular season. We are here to break all that down, give you guys a nice deep dive on what this team is and what they aren't, but it starts with the review. So before we get down to the nitty-gritty, we have to go through the formalities. I want to thank you guys for checking us out here on the YouTube page. If this is your first time here, guys, make sure you do us a favor. Click that like and subscribe button. Make sure you turn on your notifications so you know exactly when we're going live, okay? That is imperative that you guys know when we do breaking news videos, just random videos while we're out and about, tailgating or from the game, whatever it is, you guys got to make sure you have those notifications set, all right? Make sure you guys hit us up on the website, guys. It's www.nothingbutniners.com. That is spelled all the way out. See it right down there. Make sure you guys check that out. See some great articles. See some of the other videos that we have there, some podcasts there. We're on our Twitter, Snapchat, the Snapchat, and the Twitter page are also over there, our social media pages. That is Nothing But 9 ERS. So make sure you guys give us follows over there. And then last but certainly not least is our Facebook pages, okay? That is going to be Nothing But Niners, spelled all the way out, as well as our Instagram, Nothing But Niners, spelled all the way out. Make sure you guys check that out, all right? If you go back to our other website, you're going to see a page there that's dedicated to the faithful. You guys are sending some awesome videos. You guys are sending some awesome pictures. You in your game day attire. You've got some custom stuff that you want to show off to the world. Send that stuff to us, guys. You can send it to us on the website, and it'll show up there on the webpage. You guys can also send it to us through email. Our email, if you're interested in sending stuff to us, it is nbniners@nothingbutniners.com. The hiatus has been too long. I'm all jumbled up on my beginning here, guys, but it's all good. We're going to weather the storm. And speaking of weathering the storm, I got my man Nick here. Nick, what's going on, big dog? How you doing?
What up, what up, what up?
Listen to all that extra bass in Nick's voice, y'all. Y'all can hear my man is sick over there. What's going on, man?
On a gang. You know what the deal is. Here to talk some Niners once again. As always, I see we both got the same shirt on tonight. You know, that birth of a dynasty, baby. Flexing on them. If you guys want one of those, send me an email, nbniners@nothingbutniners.com. You know how to do it.
Let them know the size and color you want. Get it to you, man. I like that. I like that. And we also got my man Wayne Breezy in here, the ball of energy himself. What's going on, Breezy?
Hey, let's get it popping, baby. Hey, I need one of them hoodies, man. I need a white joint. I want a white joint.
Had to get my man hooked up over there, man. All right, we got you, man. Don't worry. We're going to take care of that real soon. I promise. Let me get that white one over there. Just like that. See the white over your shoulder now? Look at that. Boom.
Yeah.
That's it right there. I see what's happening here. Guys, listen, we got a lot to discuss, fellas. The 49ers are 8-0. First of all, before we even get to the game, we're 8-0, and we're getting some reinforcements back. The practice report came out today. We got to hear about some of the troops that were on the field. All right, we heard that you guys correct me, help me out here. We heard Joe Staley was out there practicing today.
Yes, sir.
We heard Mike McGlinchey was out there practicing today.
The line is back.
We heard Kyle Juszczyk was out there practicing today, right? Come on, man. Juice was out there, Victor. All right. And then I heard even Selleck was out there. They said Kyle Shanahan started practice by saying, "What time is it? Selleck time." They said it's the first time in almost a year that Garrett Selleck, Jesus, what is his name? Is it Garrett Selleck? I can't even remember his name. That's how long it's been.
Yeah.
Garrett Selleck.
Garrett Selleck, right? What's his brother's name?
He played for the Brent Selleck.
Brent Selleck. Yeah.
That's it. Okay.
He used to be an Eagle.
That's how long my man has been going, fellas. Like, I can't even remember his first name anymore. It's almost Selleck time again. You guys think that which one of these guys do you guys think will be back up at practice and why? Let's start with Nick and then we'll go to Wayne. Who do you guys think will be back? Not even so much at practice. They're all practicing, but we heard about, like, this was tight. I feel good, but I was winded. Who do you guys think will be back for the game Monday night against the Seahawks?
I think McGlinchey, Staley, and Juice. I think they'll all be back.
Right. What about you, Breezy? You think all of them showing up?
I agree with those three. I don't know if Selleck will be ready to play. But it was good to get him back on the field because it is Selleck time when he's out on the field. He's a red zone guy. It would be cool. I heard there was a herd sighting too today at practice. So hopefully the faithful been waiting, baby, for that big guy right there to get on the field. So It's coming, man. Reinforcements are back, baby, and it's only gonna get better. Better.
I absolutely agree. How did I? Come on, that's how you know I'm out of it, man. I forgot about my man Hurd. Jalen Hurd was back at practice also.
Well,
Selleck,
he wasn't practicing. He was just on the side field.
Yeah,
right?
He was with with oh my God, what's our tight end guy? He
Selleck.
said, nah, not Selleck. Shoot.
Wally or Toilolo?
I know
Oh,
he
what is
Kittle.
Kittle didn't practice either. Yo, because you threw Selleck out there and it just threw me off, yo. I got Selleck visions in my head.
A good question that we have to ask ourselves is Selleck I think only gets a week or two to see if he's going to be designated for
IR
injury settlement or to be cut or IR. And if Selleck does come back, who's the odd man out? Is it Ross Dwelly or is it Levine Toilolo?
It's gotta be Toyolo, right? Because I mean Dwelle is productive, man, and you get an extra guy in the backfield to spell for juice. So I think you got to use. I think Toyolo is the odd man out, man. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Business, nothing personal. It's just strictly business.
It's crazy because Toilolo, in my mind, is just under George Kittle with blocking. I mean, the dude is a hell of a blocker. He's not more of a pass catching tight end, but his blocking is legit. Like watching him on film, him and George Kittle, I think George Kittle's a better blocker than he is, and Kittle's come a long way with blocking, but Toilolo is a really good blocker compared to Ross Dwelly. He's definitely a lot better of a blocker. The only other thing is I said a week. I meant to say 3 weeks. I think it's 20 days or something like that they have for Selleck.
Yeah, I think that if he comes back, it's got to be Toilolo. I agree with you guys. Toilolo is a really good blocker, but that's about all he brings back to the mix. He did have that one catch from Jimmy where he was scrambling. Jimmy kind of rocketed in there. I think that was against the Panthers, though, right? I think it was the Panthers.
I think it was the Panthers too, and he caught the ball. He didn't get the first down though.
Right. He did make the catch, but I mean, other than that, he's not really doing anything. You got Juice coming back. You got the tackles returning. I mean, Toilolo is really not that important. You know what I'm saying? So you get a little bit better hands and things like that with Selleck coming back there. So and a trusted target for Jimmy Garoppolo. So
I agree, and I think with the reinforcements on the line, I think he's the expendable. It is unfortunate. I just think that with the reinforcements on the line, we keep who like School and the other dude that's been balling, yo. He's rated high on the PFF, and no one saw it coming. An undrafted dude, so the line is going to be intact, man. Bearing injury, guys, we stay healthy, man. This is going to be a unit. This is going to be a team cats don't want to face come down the stretch. You know what I'm saying? So it's unfortunate that I think Toyolo is the guy because that's the guy I wanted him to make the team. I remember when we were doing that, I was like, oh, he's making a squad. We didn't know much about Dwelle at the point, but Dwelle has showed and proved he earns a spot on this squad. Just for filling in for Juice, man, having to play in the backfield, play the fullback position, spell, catch out the backfield, block. Like that boy's been doing it all, man. And he caught that first down to seal the deal on the game against the Arizona Cardinals, which we're about to talk about in a few minutes. My bad for yelling at you, Nick. I know you're sick. My bad, but I'm excited. You know what I'm saying? So take it over, baby.
You know what the funny thing about that is with Ross Dwelly catching that ball is because you heard Kyle Shanahan and he said we went into this game with one ultimate goal, and that was to get Selleck or Dwelly more yards after catch. And he's like, because I think his average is 1 yard. He's like, well, we got more than that tonight. It was just kind of funny that how he said that they went into that game like that. You're talking about, before we move on, you're talking about Joe Staley and we're talking about Mike McGlinchey coming back. And people are going to laugh at me when I ask this question. But think about this for a second. Brunskill
Brunskill
and
School.
have been playing for what, 5 weeks now, going on 6 weeks, or 6 weeks going on 7 weeks. Does this line lose any continuity when Joe Staley and Mike McGlinchey come back?
I'll go first. Y'all know I like these kind of ledges. I said in the group chat earlier, I think the most important people of those three guys that you just named, Juice, McGlinchey, and Staley. I think the one that we need to come back more than any of them is Juice. And it's not a knock against Staley. It's not a knock against Mike McGlinchey. Those two guys weren't having really great years. There were times during this season where I was like, is Staley still the guy? I know he just got that extension, but does he have another 2 years left in him? You know what I'm saying? Mike McGlinchey, I was like, all right, it's the sophomore slump. I'm expecting this. You know what I mean? And then we turn around and we look at what the guys like Brunskill and School have done. And I'm like, we've been serviceable. We've been better than serviceable. We've been undefeated. And Jimmy's barely getting hit. Now, I know a lot of that has to do with scheme and things like that. And those guys may not be as strong or as good at holding rushers away. So we're doing a lot of quick things. But if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I know that we see the difference with Juice in the game and without Juice in the game. We can still churn them out, right? But it doesn't quite feel as confident when you're watching the run game and stuff like that. And as far as like directly answering the question, do we lose anything as far as continuity? I do think that these guys have started to work together a little bit. That's not to say that we're losing it. It's just going to be a different chemistry because the starting five, they did play together all of last year until Tomlinson's injury down at the end there. So, I mean, it's a different chemistry, you know, so this is the winning chemistry. I don't know how you guys want to break it down. That's my take on it.
I'll go next. I agree with you, but I disagree with you at the same time. I'm the type of person that's not gonna, let a starter lose their job due to injury. And McGlinchey and Staley did get injured, and if they were undefeated too before they got injured. I just want to put that out there. And I think if they were continued to be had not gotten injured, the continuity would be there. We definitely had the scheme. We definitely had the chip. We definitely had to add extra help for the younger guys to block, but they did hold it down. So big up to School and Brunskill. But with that being said, you absolutely want to put your absolute best on the field at every single moment you get a chance to put them on the field. So that with that being said, McGlinchey and Staley goes back in that game, and they may struggle. They may give up a sack. It may happen because of the continuity that was that has to be. Has to come back together, but they're still the best at their position on this team, and they belong on that field if they're not injured. And the good thing is, though, Mike, that our reserves are just as tight. And if anything was to happen, they go back in and the continuity is there. So this is a great thing, a great problem to have at this moment. So with that being said, I think you play Staley, you play McGlinchey if he's available. I'm not sure if McGlinchey is going to be healthy to go out there this Monday night. I definitely think Staley is, but if he is, you put him out there. If not, you scratch him, let him sit another week, and you got that one swing guy that can come in and they get tired, they come in, boom, 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 boom. This team, the line has not been a problem this year. Like, let's just call it like it is. The line has not been a problem. We've been able to run and gash up yards for big games. We've been able to pass and gash up yards for big games. And Jimmy G has been sacked less a lot this season. So let's just call it like it is. This might not be the best line in the NFL, but it's definitely one of the top lines getting stuff done. And with that being said, like, this offense we have yet to seen it crack the sky. We have yet seen the perfect run pass game plan yet because we haven't had to. We just pick one. We stick with one. If one is working, that's what you're getting. We're not going to. Kyle doesn't give up too much, and that's a great coach. That's a great coach. So with McGlinchey and Staley being healthy, they go back on the field because they're starters, man, and that's what they belong on that field. Just sip my water.
So Nick, you obviously you're going to give your answer here, but what do you think the difference is between the tackles? How does the offense change? What's the dynamic that changes?
Look, I've been saying it all year. Mike McGlinchey has not impressed me this year. Like, I've been saying that since day one, week one. You know, I just, man, like, to me, it's like McGlinchey's really good with zone reads, like zone blocking. He struggles very, very bad in pass pro compared to what I've seen out of Daniel Brunskill. Now, this isn't saying Daniel Brunskill is a better athlete or a better tackle than Mike McGlinchey. But from what I've seen this year, from this year's play, not going back last year, not going back to college years or anything like that, Daniel Brunskill has balled out this year, man. And Daniel Brunskill has been playing really, really well. Like you heard Wayne say earlier that Daniel Brunskill is the highest rated tackle on this team, or really high rated in PFF. Now, I know I don't go by PFF a lot. I know none of us really do. There are some PFF believers out there. But I think Brunskill brings a different tenacity in passing in the pass game than Mike McGlinchey brings. But I also believe that Mike McGlinchey brings a better tenacity and attitude in the run game than Brunskill brings. So it's kind of a mixture for me, because right now Brunskill it's kind of like the whole, Brock Coyle type thing for me. Like, we're not losing anything with Daniel Brunskill there. It's not hurting the team with Daniel Brunskill there. It's not hurting the team with Mike McGlinchey there either. But Brunskill is definitely, in my eyes right now, a better pass pro tackle than Mike McGlinchey is right now. And I know we haven't had to physically pass the football a lot, but right now I think that Daniel Brunskill has played his balls off, to be honest. And to me, it's really a hard question right now, because 6 weeks or 7 weeks, what do you miss? 6 weeks so far is a long time in football weeks. Like, getting back to football shape, I guess you could say. You heard Joe Staley say today that he has to get his wind back. Like, he has to get that back. Do we let Brunskill continue to play this week, and School play this week, even though it's up against Seattle? And if we win this game, we could take a 3-game lead in the division. Very, very big game. But do you let them get their feet back under them and then start them again this week, or start them once when Arizona comes to Levi? So it's an interesting question to pose. I mean, if you watch film, you'll see what I'm kind of talking about, and it's not bashing McGlinchey or Staley either. And the bottom line, it goes to what Wayne said. This is depth pieces. These are our 4th and 5th guys. We don't even have Sean Coleman out there, who is our original swing tackle because of an injury. But everybody's saying offensive line, offensive line, offensive line. Well, guys, this offensive line has played lights out this year. And, to me right now, the continuity and the depth on this offensive line is probably just as good as our defensive line with depth.
I like it. Well said there, man. I got all the numbers and everything pulled up here. I have the PFF pulled up so we can do the breakdown of the Arizona game. And I like what you said there. I think the difference is going to be the run and the pass game. I think Joe Staley and McGlinchey bring a physicality and bigger lanes for these guys to get through, especially when you add Juice back in there. And then on the flip side, it's going to be where the passing game just seems to – I don't know if it's because they're speeding it up and making Jimmy get rid of the ball faster or not. But whatever it is, it's working. And the pass game looks a lot better, especially with the added weapons and things like that. So, yeah. I did hear the comment, McGlinchey saying that, he felt okay, but he was just winded and he needs to get his football breath back or something like that, or his football wind back. That's a little concerning to me if he feels that way. Now we got a lot of time. I mean, we have 6 days before the game. He's got plenty of time to go out there and get in shape. But if he's feeling just a little bit of, I might not be ready, please sit down. Don't rush back. Don't mess up chemistry. Don't cost the team because you're anxious to get back out there. You're still the starter. Joe Staley is still going to be the starter. It's just a matter of should we start them now That's what we're facing. So we'll break all that down more later on. But let's get to this game, man, guys. We are 8-0. The 49ers, man. We went out there. Was this game really close? Let's start with that. Like, was this game really close? Because I see a lot of people saying the 49ers were lucky to get out of here with a win. I see you, baby. Like, the 49ers were lucky to get out of here with a win, and they barely got past the Cardinals, and the Cardinals lost that game. And if he didn't call that timeout, then I'm hearing all this stuff. Wayne, man, you kick it off first. Was this game really that close?
I want the Cardinal fans and all the other fans in the NFL that love football to really, stop checking the goddamn box stats and go watch the game. The game was not close. The game was not close at all. It ended close due to a play where, and let's call it like it was. Kyler Murray sucked at passing the ball until that one pass. I think he had like 100 yards, if that, until that one pass, and then that pass put him over the mark. And if it wasn't for Mosley, if he was playing a little bit more in depth on that pass, it would have been a pick six. If he was 1 inch taller, it would have been a pick six. And if Sherman didn't read the ball wrong, it wouldn't have been a touchdown because it would have been a tackle. So these things happen. And we had an 11-point lead at that point. It was like 8 between 6 to 8 minutes left in the game, and they get that big 89-yard touchdown. The game was not close, guys. We dominated the whole game. It was the fourth quarter. Okay, Quan Alexander goes down with an injury. It changed up the game plan. It went no huddle offense. They started running the ball with Kyler and blah, 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 blah. Charlie Brown started happening. So come on, let's just keep it a buck. Now, the 49ers on a Thursday night playing on a short week with minimum practice, if they practiced at all, they probably just walked through. Didn't really get a chance to game plan. Yeah, they had to be prepared. Yeah, they knew they were playing the Cardinals on a Thursday night. Yeah, they knew they were flying to Arizona. I understand that. But let's just call it like it is. It wasn't going to be an easy game. And we were saying that. I kept saying this is not going to be an easy game. I thought we would have scored in the 30s, but we didn't. We could have. There were plenty of opportunities. How many touchdowns were called back, Nick? Mike, how many touchdowns? Two touchdowns called back. How many touchdowns we missed?
Technically, one was called back and the other was dropped. Debo dropped it wide open when it wasn't called back, but two.
Got you. I thought it was more than two. I thought it was two called back due to a penalty. And then that one was dropped in the end zone. So all I'm saying is the opportunities were there for us to even score more. We just didn't capitalize on it. Kudos to the Cardinals for playing hard. They never gave up. But guess who won? The better team. And that's what's going to happen each and every week. The better team is going to go out there and win. I'm not saying that the 49ers are going to end 16-0 and 18-0 in the Super Bowl. All I'm saying is if they prepare for glory, they're going to go out there each and every week and give their freaking all. The person that impressed me the most was Richard Sherman, because after the game, he was pissed. And I ain't never seen him mad and yell at himself and the team at the same time. Like, he held himself accountable. Those are leaders, man. That game wasn't as close as y'all thought it was. But y'all want to pay attention to the box stats and the scores, blah, blah, blah. Cool. Do y'all thing. But y'all know it wasn't that close. I ran out of water.
Go ahead, Nick, man. The floor is yours, bro. I mean, Wayne said it all. I mean, what you think? Anything different there?
I disagree with him. I think this game was close. The second half, we did not play anywhere near our potential and capabilities. And we can say that it was because Quan Alexander went down. We made a lot of mistakes in this game. We made the Tevin Coleman drop, which would have been 6. The pick 6 from Fred Warner could have been 6. But we allowed them to beat up on us and get them. The play, yes, the screens were killing us. We talked about this on the overreaction show. The screens were killing us, right? There was, for some odd reason, this defense was gassed, right? And you could tell that they were gassed, whether it's the short week, whether it was the no huddle offense. But one way or another, when you're out on the football field, the short week doesn't matter. The high tempo offense, you heard him on the sideline say, you heard Chris Kosaric say, the only way to beat high tempo is be high tempo. Like, that's what he was trying to get across to his guys. You know, the Debo drop touchdown, the Tevin Coleman drop pass, the pick six, Fred Warner drop pass, interception, not pass, but interception. That's three touchdowns that we could have scored, right? And took a complete advantage of this game. Now, don't get me wrong. Jimmy Garoppolo had a hell of a game. What do you have? 317 yards, 4 touchdowns, stood poised in the pocket. But defensively, there were so many opportunities for us to shut them down, and we just could not do it. In the second half. I mean, you look at it. If you look at our team all year round, right? Whether you want to say we took our foot off the gas or whatever, you know, I know our mantra is all gas, no brake, but all year we haven't taken our foot off the gas, right? But in the second halves, we've played consistently better football than we have in the first half all year long. This second half, this week, we didn't play football. Like it was, dude, we had a lead going into halftime at what was it? 21-7?
It's 21-7.
21-7. We scored one more touchdown in the second half and gave up two touchdowns and a field goal, I think, right? Was that 11 points in the fourth and I think 7 in the
third.
In the third.
They scored on their first drive in the third.
They scored on the first drive. Defensively, like I said, this game wasn't close score-wise, but this game could have been a lot closer. The rookie head coach timeout, and I understand players just gave up, but Jeff Wilson wasn't going anywhere on that. Like rewatching the film, even though the players gave up, their defensive players were already in the backfield before the players gave up. That saved us. That literally saved us because we literally almost went into the half at 14-7. We don't score on the first drive. We didn't do a real good, you know, coming out of half. We let them score on their first drive. And then it was just downhill from there defensively. And I don't know what it was. You can attribute it to Quan Alexander going down, Dre Greenlaw coming in. You can attribute it to the up-tempo, no-huddle offense that gassed our defensive line. You can also up it to missed tackles, a ton of missed tackles. So to me, like you were saying, Wayne, the score wasn't close. The possession time wasn't close. The statistics in the box score weren't close. But if you look at this game, the Niners literally could have lost this football game.
They literally could have lost the game, but they could have also blown the game out, just like you said. They just didn't capitalize on things.
Right.
But so to me, it wasn't as close. The Niners had the lead the whole game. They never gave up a lead, right? I get where you're coming from, 100%. And we were all sitting at the edge of our seats toward the end of that game because we didn't understand what was going on. We saw that the defense was gassed. We saw the injuries taking place. I didn't even see the Quan Alexander injury. I just saw he wasn't in the game, and God forbid what happened.
Well, so you know what play he got hurt on?
I don't remember seeing it.
Do you remember the play where it was, I believe it was 3rd and 18?
Oh, come on.
The 3rd and 18, he came up and he made the tackle right at the sticks. Well, he only with the one left arm. I believe it was his left arm. Okay. And his arm just went back and he made the tackle, but it was a third down. But nobody else was there to make the tackle. Gotcha. And that's the play that he got hurt on, the 3rd and 18 or 3rd and 17, whatever it was. But like you're saying, you know, yes, we could have taken a complete advantage of this game, right? And we're downplaying that right now because we still won the football game. But when it comes to a Seattle, when it comes to a New Orleans, when it comes to a Green Bay, those mistakes are going to bite you. You're going to lose those games.
I agree.
So we can't sit here and sugarcoat it and say, well, we got the win. Well, yeah, we got the win. But if that's a better team than a 2-5 football team and a rookie quarterback and a rookie head coach, we lose that game. And that's why I say that game was close.
I got you. I'm not sugarcoating the win, bro. We won.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying you in general.
I'm just saying we won the game, though. At the end of the day, they still found a way to dig deep in the trenches, on the road, injuries, whatever, mishaps, missed touchdowns, and they still won the game. So at the end of the day, they still won the game. I don't care if the team was 2-5 or 9 or 5-2. They found a way to win that game. And maybe they did play it down because it was the Arizona Cardinals, and maybe they will have a different mindset against the Seattle Seahawks or New Orleans Saints the next time they play the Arizona Cardinals. Who knows? But we came out with the victory, and let's figure out how we can capitalize and fix our mistakes so that way we don't repeat those same behaviors. There was penalties. We were penalized in that first quarter more than they were the whole game. And we have been the least team with penalties all season until that game. So, yeah, it was a lot of stuff that the 49ers need to go back and correct. But they did find a way to pull it out. And that's what great teams do, Nick. Great teams figure it out. Great teams come back and win games with 5 turnovers. Great teams come back when and rewatching the game, Kyler Murray was the reason that the comebacks even started. He would just go. He would every time he had a big run, they went no huddle and it threw us off. But they kept him in the pocket. They sacked him 3 or 4 times. Like they were doing their thing. They just couldn't keep it up because Kyler Murray. So that's a big thing, Nick. They didn't see a quarterback like this all season, correct? I don't think we played a quarterback like this all season. We got to play him again. Got to play Lamar Jackson, and then we good. And Russell Wilson, and then we good. So it was tough. I get it. It was close, but in my mindset, this game wasn't close, and it did come down to the fourth quarter, and we were in the fourth quarter with an 11-point lead, and then that big touchdown with 6 minutes to go is what really kind of scared us. Is what really scared us. And again, missed tackles, right? Missed tackles, misread, missed angles, all that happened on the same play. It all happened, and that was where it became scary. But thank God we have an offense. Thank God we have a Jimmy G, and that's what kind of sealed the deal.
I think the truth is somewhere in between both of your guys' takes. I think that the game looked close, and I think that the game was close because of different types of circumstances. I think the 49ers took their foot off the gas because not because they were overlooking the Cardinals or thought we don't have to go as hard. When I say they took their foot off the gas, Kyle Shanahan is a guy that does things that sets other things up. They do similar things like that on defense also, right? And so the Cardinals had a different type of game plan. We have played a lot of very conventional type quarterbacks, okay? If you take away the gimmicks, this game wasn't nearly as close as what you think it is. Kyler Murray had that one play for 88 yards, 89 yards, right? I believe it was 88 or 89 yards, the one catch by Andy Isabella, 89. Right? But but he finished the game with 244 yards. Then there was another play where they had a 52-yarder that screen pass to Kenyon Drake, right? And even that play, it was just a lot of weird stuff going on. They had these guys spread out wide. It looked like the play almost broke down. We thought it was a breakdown. No, it was a design screen, and then he took off for 52 yards. Just those 2 plays alone right there account for half of their yards in the air. So what did that say?
He torched us on the ground.
Well, yeah, I mean, he got busy on the ground also. Kenyon Drake ran for 110 yards. You know what I'm saying? He ran for 110. But if you look at the game from the lens of how did the Cardinals do so well, it was a lot of mental mistakes. 90% of what I saw was correctable. And I'm not exaggerating either. Like most of it was like, we don't play like that. And that's why you get a guy like Richard Sherman so fired up at the microphone. He said we didn't play assignment type football. He said it needs to be robotic. Like he was using very key words like we know better and we didn't do it. That Mosley, where he tried to jump the ball and was nowhere near it. That was one thing. It was like, why did he even try that, right? If he gets the interception, he's a hero. But there was a lot of hero ball going on once Quan Alexander went down. You know what I'm saying? So it was little stuff like that was changing. You got linebackers over pursuing because they're just not sure if the person in front of them is going to make them like everybody was just playing. It was almost like we weren't playing as a team. We started playing selfish. Yeah, and this is not what the Niners defense has been doing all year long.
You know why though, Mike? I think it was out of like you kind of say, I think it was out of frustration.
Mm-hmm.
Like individual players getting frustrated to where they weren't playing that robotic in sync type defense they've been playing all year. And that's why I'm hinting on it that this game was close, because we've seen a lot of mistakes from our defense the entire second half. The game should have never been that close, but we allowed it to be that close. And like you said, Richard Sherman, not only did he put blame on somebody else, he technically was trying to put all the blame on himself. If I come on a better angle, I should have that tackle. I made that mistake.
Mhm.
Like, this is the way that it's going to be. Everybody should know, I can't tell them what to fix. They need to realize it, and I need to fix what I need to fix, because that's where it starts. But those are the things that I'm talking about. Was like, I agree with what you're saying 100%. And a lot of it was, and I said it on the overreaction show, like when we were talking with Tony, and I'm like, well, it's not the defensive lineman's job to track down screens. Like, there's other guys on the field that should have been making those tackles, but at the point of contact, it was a missed tackle, and he got 5 or 6 more yards and continued to move the chains. And that was us beating ourselves.
That's it.
It wasn't the offense like everybody was saying that game. It literally wasn't the offense. Going back and watching it again, I still think that we allowed them to be in that game so much by the way our defense played.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah. And there was a lot, like Wayne touched on it also. He touched on penalties, right? If you look at the offensive side of the ball, there were 5 penalties. The defense had 2, and then special teams had 1. We finished the game with 8 penalties, but those 2 penalties on defense were huge. One of them was a 3rd down where he tackled Kyler Murray, but he horse collared him. That was early.
That
right there.
Mm-hmm.
That gave them a touchdown. That's what led to the touchdown drive. That's a game changer right there. All of a sudden, they come in here and they say, all right, this is the Niners team that we're about to play against. It's short week guys. We got to hit them with everything they got. And they come out there, and if they had to go on 3 and out, all the confidence, all that stuff, it completely changes. But they got a little bit of momentum, and they kicked the door off the hinges. You know what I'm saying? So they went on and they went on and did their thing. You know what I'm saying? But then it's other stuff that was happening on offense. We were stabbing ourselves in the foot over and over and over. I was watching the replay on YouTube, and it was just like the highlight plays of the game, and it was 1st and goal from the 13. Without even knowing what happened, we had to have gotten down there and then got some kind of weird ass penalty. We were stabbing ourselves in the foot. But if you watch the offense, if you watch Jimmy Garoppolo, it was his best game as a 49er. I don't care what anybody says. That man was on fire. He was in his zone. And again, guys, if you're just jumping in here, we're doing a Who Are the 49ers? This is part 1. What we're going to be doing is reviewing the Cardinals game, and then we're going to be talking about the 49ers through the first 8 games of the season for us. So we're going to be breaking this thing down video by video. Tonight's video is dedicated to reviewing this Cardinals game, and we're going to lead into it. But I want to pull up Jimmy Garoppolo's numbers here. His numbers, honestly, don't even tell the whole story. They really, really don't. 28 of 37 for 75.6% completion percentage. That's not adjusted either. That's actually how many passes he completed. You know how they have all the advanced metrics where the ones that were drops don't count against them and all that stuff? Like that touchdown to Debo. You know what I'm saying? Like, imagine you take that drop out of there and things like that. His completion percentage was through the roof. 317 yards. Would have had more without the drops, right? 4 touchdowns, right? 136.9 QB rating. And it was insane. And if you watch Jimmy Garoppolo, I don't know what got into him. His mechanics look the best they have ever looked all game long. I mean, am I wrong? You guys disagree? Do you think Jimmy Garoppolo has had a better game in his career as a 49er?
The reason, let me tell you this, it's very, very weird. And you can watch any game of Jimmy Garoppolo. When Jimmy Garoppolo is under pressure, his mechanics are right. Like most of the time. I would say 90% of the time. When he has all the time in the world is when his mechanics aren't fluent. It's weird. Like, even like the one pass that he threw to George Kittle, right? When I rewatched that play, he has pressure right in his face, and he throws it with his arm. His mechanics weren't good on it, but he throws it with his arm. But at that point is a time where you go and say, wow, like, there's not another quarterback in this league that could have made that throw. Like the way that he throws with his mechanic issues, right? Of the whip with his arm, the way that he gets rid of the football. And he was taking hits. his hand hit a helmet, and the ball was still right on George Kittle, right? But if you look and you go back and you watch Jimmy Garoppolo, and you look and you say that this was his best game played as a 49er, I completely agree with you. But it's also funny that this is probably one of the he had so much pressure on him this game compared to other games, and it just doesn't phase him. Like, the pressure does not phase Jimmy Garoppolo for some reason. And you see more of him this year navigating the pocket. So this is where I think when he worked with the guy in the offseason, I can't remember what his name is.
It was Tom Houseman's crew, but I don't know if Tom House was physically there.
So Tom Houseman's crew. His movement in the pocket is way better than I've ever seen it. His ability to slide left, slide right, slide up, and then sliding up and still getting back into a good mechanic to make a good throw. I agree with you, Mike. I think this was the best game that he's played in a Niners uniform.
Yeah, man, I gotta agree with you guys, man. This is definitely like the best game I think he's played. Period. Point blank. His mechanics have been on point. Actually, his mechanics we've got to watch the maturity of his mechanics, right? Because Jimmy G has started to pressure him a lot more, and he's more accurate under pressure, as what Nick said. And if you look at those throws, they're like right there. That pass to Emmanuel Sanders with the guy in his face. Emmanuel Sanders didn't even know that ball was coming. I mean, he didn't even know. He just ran to a spot. It was there, right? So that pass, that Jimmy G is confident, guys. He's confident. I don't know what to say about a quarterback that's confident, that not feeling himself. It's a big difference between conceited and confident. And he's confident. He's starting to throw the ball to spots where he expects his receivers. Who does that sound like? I'm not going to say his name. I'm just saying that's the Jimmy G that we're getting. That's the second round. We gave up a second round pick for this guy. This is why Kyle Shanahan said, hey, Lynch, go get me Jimmy. Go get me Jimmy. I saw something in him. I can work with him. I can teach him this offense. And we gotta forget. I know we were throwing a lot of fans were throwing Jimmy G under the bus for whatever reasons. They must forget that this is the most complex offense in the history. This offense is more complex than probably the Bill Walsh system. All right. So they were throwing Jimmy under the bus, and they didn't really give him time to learn it and to get into the game. Look, man, Jimmy G looks good. He can only get better. It can only get better. We went out and got him a weapon. I can't wait to see what Goodwin, Sanders, Pettis, Debo. I can't wait to see what the plan is for all four of those guys at the same time, or however he draws it up. I can't wait to see. And Jimmy's getting confident, not just throwing to one guy. He's spreading the ball out. He was 12 for 14 on third downs, guys. He was 12 for 14 on third downs. And I'm not talking third and ones and third and threes. I'm talking third and nines and some 11s. I mean, this guy he's confident. And you give me a confident quarterback any day, I like our chances.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. And it's like you said, I like how you started that. There's a difference between confidence and cocky, right? Cocky is I can do it, I can do it, I can do it. You got a guy in the Cleveland Browns that's feeling that way, or at least he was, right? But a confident quarterback, it's not confidence in him, it's confidence in his receivers. It's confidence in his targets. And Emmanuel Sanders has built up Jimmy's confidence. It's going through the roof. It's like, all right, I got George Kittle. I know I can depend on him. And I got Matt Breida, who really drops a pass. I know I can depend on him. But who else can I depend on regularly? All of a sudden, you give Jimmy Garoppolo three guys that he can depend on the field at the same time. He looks like a completely different guy. I'm not going to touch on that one pass that you're talking about. I want to get to this comment here that we have on the screen, then we're going to keep it moving here because I do want to talk about Emmanuel Sanders. He said, I have to disagree. His best game would have to be his first game behind being able to lead us back to a win against the Sea Chickens. But Jimmy Garoppolo never played Seattle. He never he came in for like one play. He threw that touchdown pass in 2017, and then that was it. He never played them again. So I don't know if Mark is thinking about Nick Mullins, maybe.
Yeah, because his first actual game was the game after that, Chicago. He only played that one drive. It was like 2 plays.
Right.
And he scored a touchdown.
Right.
He threw a touchdown.
I think it was the Kendrick Bourne too, by the way.
No. It wasn't Bourne.
Oh, Selleck.
Trent Taylor.
Was it Trent?
No, it wasn't Trent Taylor. No.
Was it Selleck?
Oh, God. He's not on the team anymore.
Oh, okay.
Oh, my God. I can't think of this guy's name right now. It's going to bother me so much.
Who was Jimmy's first touchdown as a 49er too?
Oh, I got to look this up. I can't remember the guy's name. Hold on. I hate y'all. I hate y'all so much.
You know what game I did like by Jimmy G? The game he shredded your boy Ramsey and them Jacksonville Jaguars. I did like that.
What's the guy's name? What's the guy's name that played for Shanahan before? He was only with us that 1 year.
Oh, he came from Atlanta?
Yes.
Not
Not
Taylor Gabriel.
Aldrick
Robinson.
Aldrick Robinson. I'm pretty sure that's who it was. I'm 99% sure it was Aldrick Robinson.
Somebody said it was Louis Murphy. I remember Louis Murphy.
Maybe it was Louis Murphy. I knew it was one of those dudes. Yeah, maybe it was Louis Murphy.
Who was that?
Maybe that was it.
Who was that other receiver that we had, and then we let him go, and he actually balled out for us that year? I think he led us in receiving, and then he went to the Lions or so. Or he came from the Lions. I can't remember. And I was hoping we would have re-signed him, but we moved on from him. Can't think of his name. He was with the Torrey Smith era. Right after
Jeremy Curley?
Curly.
And we traded him to like the Jets or something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. Hold on. Full playoff game log. I'm looking up Aldrick Robinson really quick. I just want to look up his game log for that year he was with the Niners, because this is gonna bother me so much. I feel like I should know who Jimmy G's first touchdown was to, but I'm getting sidetracked. I'm sorry. Let's keep it going, guys. Let's talk about the importance of this guy right here, man. Emmanuel Sanders comes in here, 7 receptions, 112 yards, right? 1 touchdown along the 32. This guy was out here. He was killing it. Like we said, he is renewed. I don't even know if you can call it renewed, but Jimmy Garoppolo is playing with a confidence we've never seen before. And I think he's just getting started. This was on a short week. This wasn't like with a ton of time to prepare. This was Sanders. I remember I said Sanders wasn't going to have a good game because it's his second Thursday night game in 3 weeks and all that stuff. I didn't think he was going to come in and be right. I thought he was going to be a little winded.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, was I wrong. Sanders came in here and said, "Hey guys, I got this. You guys need somebody to step in," and he's doing it from the slot, man. This is, oh my God, guys, talk about Emmanuel Sanders, please. Like, give me. What do you guys think he does for this team? Not even just for Jimmy Garoppolo. Like, how does he change the dynamic of the team? What can What can Kyle Shanahan do now that Sanders is here that he couldn't do before? Or maybe not what he couldn't do, but what can he do better than what he was doing before?
Go ahead, Nick.
What can Emmanuel Sanders do better than what he was doing before?
What can Shanahan do better now that he has Sanders here than what he was doing before? Like, how does Sanders and his abilities change the game plan for Kyle Shanahan?
I don't think it changes the game plan for Kyle Shanahan. I think it changes the open ability of the receivers in his progressions. I don't think it so much goes on to Kyle Shanahan, as in like, okay, I have Emmanuel Sanders now. I can scheme him open. I think it helps the play, right? Because his route running is crazy good. He's got great hands. He has good separation. But I don't think it changes the play in general, because I think it's just another piece in the puzzle. But I think it benefits Jimmy Garoppolo more and the receivers more, as well as George Kittle, because of the fact of you have to pick your poison now. To where before you could see they were still doubling George Kittle this game. like against Arizona. They were still doubling George Kittle at times. And there was a couple times where it confused. There were a couple times it confused Jimmy Garoppolo in the defensive set they were in, thinking, a couple plays where, the safety was lined up on the left side and it was a play action on that George Kittle pass. But that safety who was down in the box actually slid over as Jimmy turned his back and then was out there with George Kittle in double coverage. But to go back, I don't want to say that you're wrong, Mike, or you're right, but I don't think it benefits Kyle Shanahan any other than gives him another playmaker. I don't think it changes things. I think what it does is it benefits the entire receiving core along with Jimmy Garoppolo and George Kittle because of the fact that you have to pick your poison.
I agree.
That's not the same thing then, right? That's a change.
Well, I don't think it's a change in the playbook or the design of plays or the way that Kyle Shanahan calls the game. I think, like I was saying earlier, I think it's just another puzzle to the piece to where it gives your quarterback another option, as in a go-to guy, or, okay, these guys are going to pick and double pick or double cover Emmanuel Sanders. Well, that's going to open up a Deebo Samuel, or that's going to open up a Dante Pettis, or that's going to open a Marquise Goodwin, or that's going to open up a George Kittle in the middle of the field. I don't think it has anything to do where Kyle Shanahan has changed the way that he calls plays because of Emmanuel Sanders. I think it just helps him in his play designs because you have another threat of a receiver instead of just George Kittle.
Yeah, man. And the thing is, you have the key word that you said is you have another threat. You know what I'm saying? We could have added any type of receiver to this team, and it would have did probably the same thing. But the fact that Sanders is a threat is what changes, not necessarily the game plan, but it changes the mentality of the offense on the team. Like, so when we talked about Jimmy G's confidence, we talked about the confidence in general as a whole unit on the offense, from the line to the quarterback to everybody on that unit. Emmanuel Sanders just brings, like, he just ups the level. It's like an upgrade. It's like a level of upgrade to where now everybody's gonna play better because everybody's gonna want to play better. Everybody's gonna want to play better to do better. You're gonna have people like if Sanders is double teamed, you will have Kittle open in the middle of the field. And even if Kittle wasn't open, even if Sanders is double teamed, Kyle will find a way to scheme cats to get open. This is definitely a gift for the 49ers. Him being able to be traded to us for the third and fourth round picks of next season. This is a gift for us. I mean, third round pick for next season, fourth round pick for whatever season after that. This is a gift. We obviously we're all in, right? And we're gonna push and we're gonna make a run at these playoffs and we're gonna make a run for the Super Bowl. And I don't think we make that trade if we weren't. And no, Sanders isn't Julio Jones or blah blah blah, but he's Emmanuel Sanders, and you better recognize. So him being on this team might not necessarily, like Nick said, change the game plan, but it definitely changes the way the game is played. As far as, I could get it to Sanders, I could get it to Kittle, I could get it to this guy. Hey, Deebo, let's do this play because they're gonna take Sanders out. Let's fake a run here and you run for a touchdown. It just expands the creativity of the Kyle Shanahan's mind. I think that's what a player like Sanders does. So go ahead.
There's one main thing that we forgot, Mike, is not only does it benefit the receivers,
the run game.
The run game.
Right.
All right.
Talk your talk, Mike. I'm putting my mouth.
Nah, let it go. Because y'all are sitting here saying all the different ways it changes Kyle Shanahan and what he can do. It doesn't change anything.
But how does that change Kyle Shanahan? He's not changing his play calls or his play.
Right.
He is. Kyle Shanahan.
But he's not, though, because Sanders is learning those plays, right, Mike?
No, that's not it. That's not how Shanahan manipulates defense, right? He puts a piece here because he knows you're going to react to it this way. You get what I'm saying? He takes the same piece and moves them over here because when you do that, then this linebacker now has to cover that guy instead of that guy. Shanahan manipulates the defense in the secondary and the people that he's going against. And so when you put when you put Emmanuel Sanders out there, one of y'all or both of y'all just said now he's going to pull a double team and give George Kittle the one-on-one, or he's going to double George Kittle. He should be open here, or like Nick just said, it opens up the run game because now people are worried about what those two guys are going to do instead of, oh, we just take out Kittle, now we can send another guy down the box. That's manipulating the defense. That's what changes. It changes how you can attack those defenses in the offense. It's not just the same plays. Wayne, I can't believe you just said we could have got any wide receiver in here. They'd have been doing the same thing. Then why wasn't it happening? That's not true.
I don't.
And I was the biggest person saying that we didn't.
I mean, for our skill set, I mean, skilled wide receiver. I'm not saying you could just go get a rookie, bring him in here, and blah 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 blah, and it's a numbers game. That's not the way Kyle Shanahan plays. They have to have some type of certain skill set to be in this offense. But I mean, I according to, from your argument perspective, I guess I kind of get where you're coming from. I just think that Shanahan runs plays. He has his play set. And with a piece like Sanders and you got this piece and this piece, it just depending on the way the defense is playing in position, then he hits that X button and changes this guy's route because it's not being double covered. But if that's changing play calls, then fine. My bad. I'm saying I'm with it. I could be wrong.
I just think like how you were just saying, like we do that already. Like we've been doing that all year, is manipulating defenses. It's not just because Emmanuel Sanders is there that it manipulates them more, because you see how we run. The whole reason we run a lot of these orbits and things like that is to see what type of coverage the defense is in. That's manipulation for Jimmy Garoppolo to be able to see, okay, they're in man, okay, they're in zone, okay, they're in this. Because if you put a guy in orbit and he goes and a linebacker goes with him, then you have man. If a safety comes down, then you're in zone. So this is manipulating to see what the defense is in for the offense. Now, can you sit here and say that, yes, with adding Emmanuel Sanders is going to dictate somewhat of what the defense does, as in pick your poison type thing? Yes, but I don't think that has anything to do with – I think that's the player itself. I don't think that's what Kyle Shanahan is changing up the scheme, because the play is the play. Like, I get what you're trying to say. I just don't totally agree with it. I see what you're trying to say, but the player is what's going to change what the defense does. Yes, he's going to help the playbook. That's why I say he's a piece to the puzzle, because it's something that Kyle Shanahan didn't have before, but he's one step closer of being able to do the things that he wants to do with an Emmanuel Sanders compared to without an Emmanuel Sanders. And that's what I'm trying to say. I don't think it dictates Kyle Shanahan saying, oh, I'm only going to call this play because we have Emmanuel Sanders, or I'm going to change the way this play is because of Emmanuel Sanders. I think he has what he wants to do. He sticks to that little notebook of his, I guess you could just say, right? As in the way that it is, but you're just taking out a Dante Pettis and you're inserting an Emmanuel Sanders who's a better player.
All right, this will explain everything, and this is going to answer my question on how you guys are receiving my question. Does Marquise Goodwin's absence change up Kyle Shanahan's play calling?
No, I don't think it has. He hasn't played, and we haven't seen, even before Emmanuel Sanders was out or here, Marquise Goodwin didn't play. It didn't really change anything because we still ran the football as good as we've been running.
I think when Goodwin's there, though, don't we do more plays downfield?
No, we haven't thrown the football downfield all year.
When Goodwin's not there, the boxes change, the play calling changes.
How do you figure? I just want to hear a backup as to why you figure this, because yes, I've been a big guy to say Marquise Goodwin stretches the field, but that also, we haven't really seen that. We've seen this run game averaging 170 to 200 yards on the ground, which has no effect other than pulling one guy out and a corner and a safety to open up a little bit more field down in the run game. We've seen one pass thrown over 40 yards this entire year.
It's not about what they do with that receiver. It's about how they use that receiver to manipulate the defense, which is what my original point was when I said you're over here and then they come down this way. So that's what Goodwin does. We haven't seen anybody. Their safeties are playing down a lot more now that Goodwin's not here. You can see that on the tape. Goodwin's not here. They're not worried about anybody running deep on us. You don't see that anymore. And now it's not like, Marquise Goodwin's on the field. We got to play 30 yards back. We weren't getting that kind of space, but you can see the 3 to 5 yard difference where those safeties are lined up, especially the free safeties.
Yeah, I mean, they respect the speed. I mean,
right.
But I don't think I still think it goes to the player that's on the field. I don't think it goes to the changing of the play. You're respecting the player that's in front of you. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't think it has anything to – I still think Marquise Goodwin out there or Emmanuel Sanders or Deebo Samuel, whoever the receivers are, the play call is the play call, and the design of the play is the design of the play. He doesn't design plays based off players. I think he designs plays based off of space and how they get that space.
So Shanahan has a playbook and doesn't matter who's out there playing it for him.
I'm not going to technically say it doesn't matter, but I'm saying one player doesn't change that whole concept. You got 10 other players on the team. I see what you're trying to say, Mike, and I agree with you to a point.
And I'm not debating. I'm just trying to get an understanding of what you're trying to say. I don't get it.
I'm trying to explain that. I think the manipulation comes from the player that's lined up across from the other player. I need to put more respect on Emmanuel Sanders than I do Marquise Goodwin, or I need to put more respect on Emmanuel Sanders than I do on Dante Pettis, right? Because even though the player dictates who's going to get double teamed,
right?
It's not the play that dictates who's getting double teamed; it's the player,
right? And that.
Right. So that has nothing to do with Kyle Shanahan and his play call.
That's what I was saying. Like, does that change the play call? So if you double Sanders, let's look at the game this past week, right? They probably started doubling Sanders. Probably why Pettis was wide open in the end zone for that touchdown. Did that change? Was that a different play call? Or was Garoppolo just smart enough not to throw it to the double team and throw it to the wide open guy?
No, that was a blown coverage, actually.
Oh, well, either way, he threw it to him. But my point is, like, that I think you got to respect the player. So, like, if Goodwin is on the field and you are giving him those 5 extra yards because of his speed, it's because of his skill set, not because of they don't know the well, we hope they don't know the play, right? We hope they know. We hope that some defenders can read plays, whatever, but we're hoping that they don't know the play to counter it. But you're respecting Goodwin's speed. I thought Goodwin was meant. I think Goodwin now in this offense can go back to his original state, meaning that he can take the top off the D. Maybe that does change the play call, is what Mike is trying to say. So that's what Goodwin was brought in here for, and then he had to start running routes and doing all this other kind of stuff because he had to, right?
Let me ask you this question, Mike, and maybe this will explain kind of. All right. Does Kyle Shanahan and Jimmy Garoppolo's progressions change because of different players on the field? No, his one progression is the 1, his progression 2 is 2, and his 3, and so on. His progressions throughout the whole entire concept, Kyle Shanahan's concept, probably stays the same.
Right.
Of who the 1 receiver is, who the 2 receiver, who the 3 receiver is, based off of what the defense is in. The progression is the progression. It doesn't change and say, okay, well, I thought they'd be in man on this, but they're playing zone, so let's flop 3 to 1. The progression doesn't change.
The progressions do change based off of what the individual's job is. So if Goodwin's job is to run an out, and Goodwin might know that ball's not coming to me, I'm just taking the corner and the safety with me to open things up underneath for someone else. So that does change the progressions, because if Goodwin's not out there, that safety in that corner aren't going to go with Deebo, for example.
It doesn't change the progression. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
It doesn't change the play either.
Always the progression. Whether you're in man, whether you're in zone, whether you're in cover 3, cover 2, your progressions stay the same. It doesn't matter who's out there, because you can you can never know what a defense is going to be in. Okay. You can say, okay, well, this is going to work against man, right? But at the last minute, they change to a zone package. Your progression stays the same. It doesn't go, oh, well, Emmanuel Sanders was the 3. Now he's the 1. Or, oh, Goodwin's out here. He goes from the 1 to be the 3. Like, your progression in the concept never changes. Doesn't matter who's on the field.
Okay. All right. Well, we're gonna keep going because I think we're gonna end up talking in circles. And I'm not saying I'm right. I'm not saying you're right or anything. I don't have an answer. I was just wondering what you guys thought. Do you guys think Emmanuel Sanders changes things up? You guys said no. So that's cool. That's fine with me. Now, Jimmy Garoppolo happened to hit 9 different receivers in this game, right? But I'm not going to highlight all of them, just some guys that had some really good games. George Kittle, 6 receptions, 79 yards, and a touchdown, a long of 30. That 30 came on after the hit to his leg. That was after the hit to his leg. He was all banged up and got that touchdown.
All them yards and catches after the hit to the after
that was the very first play of the game.
Right. That's what I'm like. Kittle was, bro. How is he not the best tight end? Like, just unanimously, how is he not the best tight end in the NFL?
Because he didn't have Pat Mahomes throwing him the ball, bro. That's why. And that's the hype that everybody was on. I ain't heard Travis Kelce name all season. I wonder why. Hey, listen, Kittle is a monster. He's a machine. We need him to be smart and be healthy. So, bro, if you hurt, come out so we can get you healed up. But that man was balling, and he should have had 2 touchdowns. He even said it himself. he almost had to. He was at the 1-yard line, matter of fact. Yeah, he was right there. He just got tackled short. But that guy's a machine, man. And man, what a draft pick. Wow. Can't teach toughness, man. And that's what that guy got. What a pick.
Steal of that draft. Absolutely. Nick, man, this one's for you, man. We had a Dante Pettis sighting. Not only did he get his hands on the ball, Dante Pettis got in the end zone. I want you to talk about what you've seen different, or if anything at all. Can you tell me anything positive about Dante Pettis? Because I'm seeing some things. I don't know if I'm the only person seeing it, so I don't want to just come out here and start saying it, and then you're like, oh yeah, But so, what are your thoughts on Dante Pettis? It was like you said, it was a blown coverage. So maybe I'm overlooking. Maybe I'm putting too much into it.
I mean, in my eyes, it looked like a blown coverage because the safety just didn't get over in time to cover him, and then was trailing way behind him, hoping that Jimmy Garoppolo didn't see him. But actually, it was Patrick Peterson. The way that the shifts went, it wasn't the safety. But to me, watching tape on Dante Pettis and physically watching him, 2 things. He looks a lot more physical going up against defenders, and his confidence level looks like it's back there again. And those are the 2 main things that have stood out to me. Dante Pettis in the beginning of the year, great route runner, but very timid. Dante Pettis over the last 3 weeks, more confidence in his route running, confidence of who he's going up against, and more physicality going up against the defenders. He's going to get the football.
Mm-hmm.
So not sure where this is coming from, because obviously it's been there, or whoever's, unless it's a Wes Welker thing. Like, yo, dude, you see how small I was playing in the NFL and doing this? Like, you got to man up. Because I also think that another thing that has helped him with his confidence, not his confidence, but him trying to be more physical, is the lack of playtime in the beginning of the season, bringing additional receivers in. On top of that, giving those additional receivers more playtime, and seeing rookies go above him. Dude, it's all the writings on the wall right there. It's step up or get off. Like, or hop on, get off, whatever you want to consider it. He's definitely been more physical, and you can definitely see the more confidence level. And that's just from what I see on tape.
Yeah. What we need from Dante Pettis, guys, is the Dante Pettis for the last 6 games last year come back to this team some way, somehow. When he came back from his injury and balled out. And we know it's in him. and you gotta allow it to develop, and a lot of shifting is going on in the San Francisco organization when it comes to adding new pieces. And like you said, Nick, that could take a toll on the psyche of especially a young receiver's brain. So like, yeah, he got to man up. That's just what it is. But here's my thing about Dante Pettis. This is all I can ask him to do. Is when the opportunity arises, you get thrown the ball, make a play, go catch the ball, go knock the ball down. If the defender's trying to catch the ball, do whatever it is you got to do to make a play on that ball each and every time. Make a block down the field, a block when the running backs are running, and you will always be in my book and to have my support. But if you don't do that, I can't support you, and you're the weakest link, and goodbye.
You said we need one thing before you go, Mike. You said we need Dante Pettis for the last 6 games of the last year. No, we need the Dante Pettis who plays against Seattle. That's Dante Pettis we need. That's the only Dante Pettis we need.
My fault. You got it.
That's not a bad thing, Wayne.
No.
I'm just saying we don't need all the 6 games. We just need the Seattle Dante Pettis.
So with that being said, because I missed the overreaction show, expect a big ass game from Dante Pettis on Monday night. I'm saying it right now, Nick. Mike, Nick. I'm only seeing you two. Expect the game of his mother freaking career on Monday Night Football, and then we can all.
You better be here for when we preview that game.
I'm previewing it, and I'm staying up. I ain't going to work Tuesday. I will be here for Monday night. It's Veterans Day. I will be here. You best believe it.
I should take off for work on that Tuesday too. Actually, that's a great idea. Oh, and I got
Nuno's bound.
Huh?
I'm Nuno's bound.
Oh, that's gonna be a hell of a game. Oh man! All right, Nick, you nailed it though. The physicality is what the biggest difference I've seen. That's not the biggest difference. It seems like a burden was lifted off of him. I don't know if it's because of Emmanuel Sanders. I don't know if it's because the team started just using Kittle more. I've seen the increase in production in Kittle. I've seen Emmanuel Sanders come in. Maybe he feels like the spotlight's not on me anymore. I can go out here and play football again. They don't expect anything of me. Let me go out here and play football. He is running down the field when the ball's not to him. He's selling the routes now. He's jamming guys that are trying to jam him. You know what I'm saying? He's blocking in the run game. When one of his fellow teammates get down the field, he's down there pushing guys out the way. He's right there to celebrate hard with these guys. He's out there doing the dances, not just when he's the one getting in the end zone. It's when other people are doing it. You saw the Thriller dance, yeah. But it's when other people are doing it. He's out there just hyping them up. He's right there. He's the first guy to celebrate with every single person on the field. No pressure on me. I can go out here and play football again. That's great. But I think that means that Dante Pettis is never going to be the receiver we thought he was going to be.
No.
I don't know if he can handle the pressure. It's not a bad thing. If he's going to be a role player, that's not a bad thing in the NFL. You don't need to be a superstar. Because when I say what we thought he was going to be, I had wide receiver 1 aspirations for him this season. That's me personally. I put that pressure on him. So let me speak for myself. He might not ever be the receiver I want him to be, because I want, like Nick said, that guy that goes up against Seattle every time. His 2 games against Seattle, I want to see that week in and week out. I want to see this dude in 2 games have 10 receptions, 179 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Like, that's what I'm looking to see from Dante Pettis. I don't know if I'm ever going to see that from him, which is okay. It's all right as long as you're doing your job and you're not costing us anything. So, that's just my breakdown on Dante Pettis there. If you guys have anything else to add, now's the time to do so. If not, we're going to keep this thing moving. All right. Another touchdown we saw today. And this guy is actually, Dante Pettis is reminding me a little bit of this guy. Kendrick Bourne. I said today, but you guys know what I meant. Thursday. Kendrick Bourne is usually the guy with all the energy and all the pizzazz and all that stuff, right? But Pettis is starting to turn into a little bit of a Kendrick Bourne on the field. I'm seeing a little bit of it. Am I the only one? Like, what's up with Kendrick Bourne, man? Is he just like, somewhere down? Is he? No. If we activated Hurd, is Kendrick Bourne the guy that's out now? Like, is he all the way at the bottom of the totem pole? What's up?
I don't think so. I think Kendrick Bourne is playing Kendrick Bourne football, and when the opportunity comes, he capitalizes on it the majority of the time. Yeah, he has some drops. All our receivers got drops. But when the opportunity comes and he knows he needs to make a play, he makes a play. He kept chains moving in that Arizona game. He got a touchdown in the Arizona game. I wish they would throw him the ball more, but when they call for him to get in there and they throw him and Jimmy gets him the ball, he's trying to make a play. That's what I'm talking about. You know how we talked about the defense and it being all in and all that the offense is doing the same thing, guys. They're all playing for one another. This is not about a specific, hey, I'm the guy, I'm the star, blah, 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 whatever. You heard them talk about how much they love Jimmy from the offense to the special teams just because of the way he talks to them. Well, Kendrick Bourne is that type of receiver that you can see that is rubbing off because he's not caring about himself. He's not going out there, he's a jokester. That's just who he is. That's his personality. But come on, man. I know we crack on him because he be dropping wide open passes. But come on, y'all. Like, let's give him some props. The question you asked though, Mike, was is he on the bottom of the totem pole? If Jalen Hurd comes, is Kendrick Bourne out? I don't know, man. It could. God, I don't know. That's a good question. Could be Richie James.
Then who's the return guy?
You can put Pettis back there. You got Dante Pettis can return punts. Why not? He got the wiggle. He got all the wiggle in the world. All we need is some wiggle. That's what I wish.
In college,
I wish James would wiggle. I ain't gonna talk about James, but I just wish he would wiggle a little bit more. But it is what it is. And we got DJ Reed Jr., who's big on special teams. I'm just saying, guys. I think at the end of the day, our depth is developing, and we're starting to see the fruitions and all the seeds that we sowed to come to fruition. And we can't be more happier because we're talking about cutting people that we like. And this is just this is a good problem to have. The bad news is if we did cut somebody, we already know where they're going. So let's just hope. We hope for the best. But I like this. I like the production by Bourne. I know it's 1 reception, 7 yards for 1 TD, but he was throwing the ball. He caught it, and that's all he was asked to do.
Yeah.
I know we need more, Nick. I know we need more, but the ball ain't thrown to him more, Nick. How much more can he give? What do you want him to do? Catch make-believe passes? I don't understand.
I didn't even say anything.
This is your head like
your
this.
whole face, bro. Nick, your face. You always talk about me and my facial expressions, bro. As soon as I said, "Is he on the bottom of the totem pole?" Your face was like,
because he's been on the bottom of the totem pole. I don't know why we're asking ourselves that question. Right now, he is the bottom guy on this receiving core.
Okay, guys. All right.
Well, not all the way on the bottom because Richie James, as a receiver, is lower than he is.
Oh!
As a receiver, I would say that he is.
I'm going to fade back.
He gets more snaps than Richie James as a receiver anymore. Richie James, to me, as a return man, is the same thing I've been saying about him all year. Like, you see 1 or 2 explosions from him all year, and other than that, he's non-existent. Like, I don't know how many. What's that?
Richie James even any snaps? Oh yeah, he did. He took 11 snaps. All
yeah,
50 snaps.
He had a couple snaps last game. But I think it was Wayne that put the question up about Richie James and his returns. It's like with Richie James, you ask who's going to be the return man, but like, how much are we really getting from Richie James as a return man? Like, to be honest, like, I know we all like him and we want to see that explosion because the reason he's so hyped is because of his return against Seattle. Like, that's the whole reason he's hyped. Like, I've seen more chances that he's had that he hasn't taken than the chances that I've seen him catch and not take. Like,
we are second in the league in returns.
Yeah.
We're second.
But that's also
pretty damn good.
So why are we not number 1, Mike?
Because we don't run them all in for touchdown. I don't know what you want me to say.
Right. Okay, so here you go. We're second in the league, right? We could be number 1. If you take, I bet you I don't know exactly what the number is. I'm not sure, so don't quote me on this. The amount of passes that he doesn't catch and allows to hit the ground and go backwards compared to what he does catch, I could probably tell you put us in a worse predicament than we would be if he would have caught the football or fair caught it at least 7 times this year. That might be 1 or 2 too high or 1 or 2 too low, but it's right there. Like, I don't understand it. Like, I don't understand what the whole hype about him is with returning. And like, to me, like, a return guy is
hype. It's hype, Nick.
Yeah,
it's
like
hype.
You want to catch the football and you want to score. There's so many times that he just runs into like defenders. He literally just runs to where they're at. And you look at the whole side of the field and it's wide open.
God, we agree. Yo, we have never agreed on a show ever. Tape this junk. Listen,
it's all recorded live.
I can't figure out. I know we talk to our peoples, we talk to our fans, and I know he doesn't fumble. I get it. I love that. And then they bring up Kyle Williams. I forgot that guy. But my point is, I thought that on the kickoff and punt return, that they're supposed to be spectacular. They're supposed to be better than average. I know we're number 2, but since when have we settled to be second best? And we mean what? And that you talk about his reactions. Look at your reactions.
Are you wait? I can't tell if you're being sarcastic. I'm sorry. Are y'all really mad that we're second? I'm sorry.
I'm not worried.
It's not about being mad. It's just what Nick said was, all right. My argument with Richie James is that he's indecisive when running the rock. He's running it so safe that he doesn't know what he doesn't know what the hell he's going to do, so he just runs into the defender and falls down. But he holds on to the ball. I get it. And he's averaging, 11 yards to return? That's second best because the first best is 12, maybe 13. I don't know. But my point is, if he's so explosive, why is he not making at least one guy miss? Like make one person miss? Like one? Who does he make miss, Mike?
He runs past at least one guy every single punt return. I don't know if y'all
the gunner, Mike, the gunner that's getting blocked down the thing. Come on, Mike.
Have you seen our gunners? Have you seen when somebody gets past our gunner, we get upset. That's the gunner's job.
Hey,
he makes the gunner. Okay. I don't even know why we do it. I don't care. I don't care enough about Richie James like that. I'm not here to do this with y'all. I'm not doing this with y'all, bro. And this is wrong, Gibson. We're talking about per return. We're not talking about total yards. We're talking about per return. We're second in the league per return. I don't care if he only returned it 4 times. We're second in the league every time he touches the ball. So it's not about.
I have nothing against Richie James returning punts other than I think he doesn't take as many opportunities that he should with the football. And what I mean by that is the catching of the football, instead of letting it go past you when you can physically catch the football and just letting it go back 10, 15 yards on a bounce numerous amounts of times. We talk about how important field possession is, in this game. We've talked about it with our punters. We've talked about it with the way that we give up yards. He has given up. There's times where he does not catch the football and he has a ton of space in front of him and he doesn't catch the football.
But we haven't seen that in like 3 or 4 weeks.
Bullshit.
We haven't seen that in 3 or 4 weeks, bro. Okay. All right, man. I'm gonna keep it moving. I honestly, and it's not even that I'm not trying to I just don't care enough about it. I don't care enough about it. I'm not we'll go back and watch all the punt returns. we don't care that much, right? Like we don't care that much. I think he's doing a hell of a job personally in the punt return, man. But it is what it is, man. So that's it, man. Listen, Jimmy had his most impressive game, hitting 9 receivers, 9 different targets. Do we think Jimmy gets 10? You on mute, bro. I can't hear. Oh, he's not on mute. How come I can't hear? Can you hear Wayne?
No.
All right. I don't know. Let me pop you. I'm gonna pop you out and pop you back in. Let's see if that helps really quick.
Silently muted you. Don't front.
No, we can see his symbol. He's not mute. Say something.
Nope.
All right. I don't know. We got to get all right. He's gonna jump back in. I don't know what happened there. That was weird. Like I heard y'all say like, "Oh, we're second in the league, but we could be first." And I'm like, okay.
No, it's not about. I don't care about second or first. I just think that he could be a better punt returner if he took more chances and more opportunities to run the football. Like to me, is if you have time to catch the football, you should catch it, whether it's a fair catch or it's not. Like that's your job. Don't allow the ball.
No, but sometimes you do want it to go over your head. You're supposed to put your heels on the 10, let it go over your head, and you hope for the touchback. You get what I'm saying? Like there are times where you're supposed to let it go.
When he's getting punts at the 40 or the 30, and it's bouncing back to the 12.
All right. I like I said, I know what you're talking about. I've seen it happen 2 or 3 times this year. I do know exactly what you're talking about. I'm not trying to say I don't. I don't see it outweighing the positive that he brings. That's all I'm saying. So
yeah, no,
that was
it definitely does. You're gonna laugh at me here. You know who I want to see return punts if he comes back healthy? Jalen Hurd.
Oh, I would put Pettis back there before Hurd.
I just because of Hurd being a running back. Like I would just like to see it one time, just one play. Or a kick return. Right. A kick return more than a punt return, probably.
Right. All right. I don't know. I don't want to keep waiting for Wayne. We do have to start talking about the defense here. But my quick question to you, though, real quick. Do you think Jimmy can hit 10 targets in the game?
Yeah.
It's hard to do.
I think he can.
It's hard to do.
He's usually in that 7 to 10 range. 7 to 9 range. Yeah.
I think it's only his second time hitting 9 since he's been a Niner. I think. So it's not easy to do. I mean, you got to have, what do we have? 3 receivers up on game day, 5 or 6 wide receivers, 2 tight ends. I mean, you got to run through the entire gambit of, pass catchers unless you make like a lineman eligible. You know what I'm saying? Something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think he can do it. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say that he can't do it because it's just a compliment of Kyle Shanahan's system. Like, I don't think it's technically, the quarterback or the receivers that we have. I think it's just the way that the system is ran.
Okay. All right. I mean, we will have to see, bro. I don't quite know. All right. Let's keep it moving here. My apologies, guys. I don't know why people like to argue with me in this. Like, okay, Richie James after last game is now 3rd, not 2nd. My bad, guys. All right, he's 3rd, not 2nd per punt return.
Who said that?
Somebody with only 10 returns? Huh?
Who said that?
I just saw Mike's talking out his butt. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Mike, I'm looking at the page right now. We're definitely not 2nd. He's 3rd. Somebody with 10 returns has an 11.5 average, but the other guys with 20 and 22 returns, Richie James is right underneath him. One guy's 11.5.
Can you look up at how many punts that he's received total, and how many that he's fair caught, and how many that he hasn't caught?
He's received 22. He's fair caught 5.
And
that's it.
But
it doesn't say if he doesn't catch it. If he doesn't catch it, it doesn't show up.
That's what I was asking. Is there like a total amount of punts that have been done the entire year? That's what I was asking. Like punted to.
Like how many times have the 49ers forced the team to punt? Basically, is what you're asking.
Yeah, like total numbers.
All right, hold on. Let me see if I could find that here. Mike's talking out his ass. You don't know what he's talking about. My bad. 3rd. I'm sorry.
Yeah, didn't you just tell me to stop paying attention to the chat before? I haven't even looked at that thing all night, and you're all up in your feels tonight with the chat.
No. I'm not in my feels, bro. I thought maybe I was bugging. I was like, yo, like, was I that far off for real? And then I wanted to look it up. I'm like, oh, these guys don't know what they're talking about. All right.
So I looked at the chat right now. Daddy-O says these cats over here debating about some punt returns. Yeah, it's part of the game, bro.
Yeah, it's a big part of the game. You're going to appreciate that in the playoffs. Special teams huge down the stretch. Are you kidding me? It's the battle of field position. All right, kickoff returns, punt returns, opponents. Wait, no, that's not even. I can't find how many punts the opponents have. I can see how many punts they've returned against us.
It's really not that important. I was just wondering if you could see that while you had that stat up. So that's all.
But look at, but here, how about this? Remember when Wayne was in here? I said he makes the gunner miss, and he was like, "That's not a big deal." And I said, "Have you seen when our gunners miss somebody? How big of a deal it is?" Check this out. Our punter has punted 9 times all year.
He has 4 yards.
Huh?
Total. I think it's bigger than that now because of the 1 punt against Carolina.
Right. So now it's 19 returned yards against.
Yeah, it was 2 going into that game. Yeah,
2.1 return yards for his 9 punts. That's why I say that 10.5. Like it's such a big. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a big difference. And we look at it like, but he hasn't run any of them back. But he's consistently giving you another 10 yards worth of. You know what I'm saying? Like that. And that's what I was getting at. That's why I was like, the few times that he does, I don't think it's that big of a deal. But it's all good. So. All right, let's keep it moving. Let's get to the defense. I hope if Wayne jumps back in, great. If not, it's all good. You know what I'm saying? The defense went out there. Our defensive tackle leader last week was a safety, which usually that's not a good sign for a defense, right? But this is also one of the games where it's safe to say our defense struggled the most, right? So your thoughts on Jimmy Ward, man? I mean, where was Jimmy on that Isabella play? Laying on his stomach. I saw him die for it at the end. He wasn't getting nothing there.
Called him if whatchamacallit didn't block him. Like, just give him that little shove. Yeah, that one little shove that he got like at the 5-yard line just threw him his whole momentum off, and then that's when he dove and tried to stop him. But the hustle by Jimmy Ward was big on that play. You got to remember, Jimmy Ward has been playing between Jimmy Ward and Jaquiski Tartt. They've both been switching from high to low or free to in the box, depending on what the defense dictates. But Jimmy Ward is Jimmy Ward. If he, like we've said this before, if you allow Jimmy Ward, or if Jimmy Ward allows himself to stay healthy, he's definitely one of the best defenders on this team.
Yeah, absolutely, man. The next guy with the tackles was someone that we actually needed to see a good game from. This is DeForest Buckner. Now, he didn't have the next most amount of tackles, but the reason I have him up here, because that would have been Fred Warner. But the reason I'm going to this guy first is because DeForest Buckner, I felt like I saw him behind the line of scrimmage a lot in this game, but there was people just out of reach of him, like just a little too far away from him. Did you see the same thing from DeForest Buckner in this game?
DeForest Buckner is. Look, man, I went back and watched this game, and and the last game too. DeForest Buckner has been, the way they're utilizing him and things that to do, he's pushing those double teams to himself to help the rest of the team. Like, there's times he lines up in front of one single person, but the angle that he takes, he's forcing a guard and a tackle to take him to allow the outside guys the single coverage. So they have to slide because basically they're going up to him. So let's say he's lined up in the B gap, right? And instead of going forward in the B gap and getting that one-on-one with the tackle, he's going to the A gap. And there's a lot of times the way they're stunting him is to put all that concentration on him in the middle of the field to allow everything else to open up. So I'm going to cut some slack to DeForest Buckner, because DeForest Buckner, and I've been with you on this, the whole thing is he needs to start showing up. But I think it's the way that Robert Saleh is utilizing him to, how can I say this, to attract that double team. Like, they're putting him in positions to attract the double team to open up other pieces on the defensive line.
Yeah, and that's what I was talking about with the manipulation of your pieces, right? And this is what I was trying to talk about with Emmanuel Sanders, though. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's how these guys can make plays with their presence. You know what I'm saying? You'll see, I've seen DeForest Buckner even take angles to make sure the double team comes in. Instead of him running straight through, he's turning sideways and getting the center and the guard. You know what I'm saying? I've seen him do those kind of things, so I know exactly what you're talking about. You guys know there's no bigger critic for DeForest Buckner than myself. He's got a strong value here in this defense, man. He absolutely does. It didn't help a lot last game, but
it may not show on the stat sheet, but the way that they're using him is definitely big for this team.
Absolutely. So I do like what I was seeing from DeForest Buckner. I'm going to keep it moving here. Our guy Dre Greenlaw. I'm going to bring him up next because he had a sack. So what I started with the 5 tackles, and I got the tackles, assists, and sacks. He had 3 tackles with one sack here. Greenlaw is going to be somebody that we're going to have to start talking about going forward, and we're going to get into it, guys. I promise you guys. I know a lot of you guys are like, let's talk about Seattle. Let's talk about Seattle. We're not there yet, not this episode. We're going to mention it from time to time, but that's not the focal point. Greenlaw is about to have some pretty big shoes to fill. I believe he's going to be the guy that's going to replace the injured Quan Alexander. I could be wrong, but I'm not sure. Either way, though, Nick, your thoughts on Dre Greenlaw's game? He got the sack. I wouldn't call it a coverage sack because there was a couple of times in the play that he got the sack where Kyler Murray had his back to the defense. Like, he was trying to, like, get away from other people. I believe the Greenlaw sack was the one where
DJ Jones came up the middle.
Jones blew it up. You're absolutely right. DJ Jones blew it up, and Kyler had to, like, turn to get away from him, and then it was just a pure effort sack. That's the word I'm looking for. It was a pure effort sack by Greenlaw. Your thoughts on the young man and what you expect from him also?
That sack kind of reminded me of DJ Jones' sack against Carolina. It was like that explosion and effort sack, like how you just said. Look, I mean, Dre Greenlaw, we watched him play in the preseason. We watched him, and we saw that he's very good in coverage. His run game, he was manipulated by play action a lot. I didn't see that all with him, but there wasn't a whole lot of play action in this Arizona game. It was spread you out, quick tempo, and go to play. I'm hoping that he's gotten better at that. I'm not even sure. I'm not even sure if we just see him all the time. I think we see until he is getting more sacks and being more pushed into that starting lineup. I think you still see a little bit of Njoku. I think you still see a little bit of Greenlaw, and really depends on what the down and distance is. I just don't know if it's going to be all of Dre Greenlaw right now.
It's true. You know how you said you love how I used to say Matthew? I don't say that anymore. Okay, but when I hear you say Njoku, I think the same way.
Njoku, why?
I think it's Martin is out yet.
You were saying that his name was pronounced like that. Like,
I know that.
Physically saying this is the way his name is pronounced. I'm like, no, it's Matthew. Tyrann Matthew. And you're like, no, it's Matthew.
Matthew. I was saying Matthew.
I'm like, no, it's not. So there's a difference. If I'm not pronouncing it correctly, I'm not saying that's the way it's pronounced. I'm just saying it incorrectly.
Yeah, no, I get it. But every time you say, I'm like, that's like the Matthew thing. I get it.
How do you say it? I always get.
I say Mark Nazaucha.
Nazaucha.
Yeah, Nazaucha. Like, so I could be completely wrong, but that's the way it's spelled, Nazaucha. So
yeah, I mean, like I said, look for him to be. I think that we're going to see some more playtime out of him compared to what everybody thinks it's going to be, and you may even see a little bit of sprinkles of Azeez Al-Shaair in there.
That's who I want to see. I fell in love with that dude in preseason. I'm not going to pause whatever you guys want to say, but that dude, like, whew, that was my dog, man. I got hyped when it was time for those guys to come out here. Yeah, I can put this one up here. I got hyped when I saw Azeez Al-Shaair come up there. So, it's a big deal. This is filling this gap, what we're going to be missing here from Quan Alexander. It's not. I think it's more about the pulse, the heartbeat that he pumped. You know what I mean? Like, he was a lifeline into that defense. It's not about the production. We can get tackles, we can get guys with speed, we can get those things, but it's something else. It's that it factor. that he brought to the table that's going to be missing. So I'll be really excited to see how they do that. I hope. I mean, from the video he posted on IG today, I believe his video was. Don't look like he's going to be on the sideline on Monday, bro. He pulled a me from last video. He put his hood on him, dude.
Yeah, he was out. He's like legendary, baby.
And just slumped. Yeah, he just slumped. So I was like, man, he don't look like he's going to be on the sidelines on Monday.
Up though, right then. I mean, he'll be up and moving. Like you said, he's got 6 days. So it's not like he flew anywhere for surgery. So he's already in California. So I think he'll be on the sideline. It's a home game, so he's not flying to Seattle.
Right.
And shit, the whole month we're at home. We don't go away until Baltimore. So which is December 1st. But I kind of beg to defer with you that you can just replace him.
I'm saying no. I'm saying when I say that, I'm specifically talking about production.
Okay,
just production.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean though, production wise, because I think that production from other players came from his energy on the field. So I definitely think Fred Warner's production is because of the play of Quan Alexander. Like, I really think that with Fred this year. And so not to say that his production, as in you can't get somebody who makes as many tackles as him.
That's specifically what I mean by production.
Right. But I think the team's production, because of that fiery energy on the field, they remind me of, what was the hockey movie? Mighty Ducks. They remind me of the Bash Brothers. Right? Have you seen the Mighty Ducks?
Quack. Yes. Quack.
Yeah.
Quack.
Yeah.
Quack.
Okay. So
the
Bash Brothers, like the energy that they brought together for that team was like irreplaceable. That energy that you're going to get and lack of without Quan Alexander on the field, I think it hurts Fred Warner the most.
I know you have Game Pass, right?
Yes.
Go back and watch either the 3rd or the 4th preseason game. Azeez Al-Shaair had some fire. And I'm talking about the juice. Because that's what you're talking about. You're talking about that energy.
He definitely did. I remember him. But he also wasn't the leader of this team. You're not taking a guy that's at the bottom of the pole in the linebacking room and saying, okay, he's going to be the new energy level guy to get this team hyped. Like,
man, look.
Shaair is an undrafted guy, right? Not that he's not a high energy, athletic, good linebacker. Don't get me wrong.
He should have been drafted, though.
Right. He should have been
drafted.
He should have been. But this is so Fred Warner leads this team in tackles, right? But a lot of that is because of Quan Alexander also. And
well, it's also where he lines up. Fred lines up dead center.
Well, yeah, so, he's a middle linebacker. But
right.
But if anybody can sit here and tell me that Fred Warner didn't feed off of Quan Alexander's energy, I will tell you till I'm blue in the face that you're completely wrong.
Oh no, we absolutely saw. But see, all right, so okay, this is a good point actually. So we saw it from week 1, the difference in his, when I say his Warner, his confidence, his enthusiasm for the game.
Everything.
He was more vocal. I mean, everything about him changed when Quan came in the building. As soon as he got with Quan, we saw his mic'd ups from last year. I'm pretty sure he had a mic'd up last year. It wasn't as boisterous. And if it wasn't a mic'd up, we've heard him at the microphone at the podium. He's a well-spoken guy. He was poised. He was taking his time. Now he's smiling. He's moving and everything. Like, he was a completely different personality. You know what I mean? The energy, like you said, you know what I mean? It was infectious energy that Quan brought to the table. So I 1,000% agree with you. I do agree with you.
And like, I'm not saying that none of that is his own, but it's like, dude, it's like losing your battle buddy. Like, there's gonna be a difference. If you don't think there's going to be, and I'm addressing Dre right now because Dre is just says that it's his own energy. Like, that just stood out to me. Like, bro, yes, it's his own energy, but when you lose a fireball next to you, that hurts you. Like, One, it's going to make you try even harder because now you are okay. I'm the leader of this defense. We
Think he's
lost.
going to try to compensate?
Overcompensate a big piece of our thing. Now, don't get me wrong. Fred has played really, really good, right? But he's also played really, really bad that other people have cleaned up his mistakes that you don't see in live games, right? The defensive captain is Fred Warner. No doubt about it. He's the middle linebacker. He's the defensive captain. He calls the plays. He does all that. Huh?
Does he officially have a seat?
Yeah, I believe so. He had a seat last year, too. So
I'll look it up. You can go ahead. I know you were on keep going.
But all I'm trying to say is that energy when you're playing on a football field and you're playing as 11, energy circulates throughout every single guy. And whether you're going to lose a player who doesn't lead the team in tackles or whatever you want to say, the energy was, like you said earlier, Mike, was it infectious, right? What's that?
It's Sherman. Sherman's the only defensive player with a captain's patch.
Really?
Yeah, and we don't even have a special teams captain. Never mind. That's all right. I'm gonna let it go. You got Jimmy, Sherman, Kittle, Buckner. Buckner has one, and Staley.
Okay. Yeah, but I'm still saying he's still the leader of the defense on the field because he's the middle linebacker. The plays coming to him, he calls out what they're doing, and so on and so on. Now, don't get me wrong, Fred has his own energy. You can see it. You see it in, the Snapchats, and you see it at the end of the videos and things like that. 49 hours, you see him talking and things like that. But I just really think that he takes another step back because he doesn't get that compensation from Quan Alexander that he was getting on the field. And I'm hoping that I'm wrong. I'm hoping that I can call Crow. You got issues, bro.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, man. Listen, it's going to be really interesting to see how Fred Warner plays. Like you said, he was making some mistakes. Maybe too much energy coming from somebody else, forgetting assignments or hesitating or doing too much. So we'll see. We will absolutely see. It's going to be really interesting to see how this team responds. And this is a good week for this to happen. There's never a good week to lose somebody to injury, but I don't mind the shakeup happening right now with what's going on and who this upcoming opponent is going to be. So Fred Warner, he's got a ton of assisted tackles. Even if he's not the guy making the tackle, he's close to it. But again, that comes from the position that he's playing. You know what I mean? And last but certainly not least on the defense, I want to highlight D4, 2 tackles with 1 sack.
Should have.
You know what I'm saying? Huh?
I said should have had 2 sacks.
Yeah. If it weren't for that freaking horse collar call, that. But D Ford, man, he was supposed to be the guy that you thought was going to take more snaps. This was the game you said he was going to take a lot more snaps, right? That would have been a surprise because it was a short week. But what's up? What's your take on him? I'm like, I love him, and I love his production. But all right? We good with him? Like I said. Don't you feel like we should be saying more about him somehow?
No, because I think he's only being overlooked because Nick Bosa has 7 sacks already. This guy has less play time and has 5 sacks. Well, 6 sacks now. He's still the second guy on this team with sacks, with less play time, less snaps.
Mm-hmm.
So the only reason that we're not all talking about D Ford, oh my God, D Ford is because A, he's not having a ton of snaps because of his knee. 2, because Nick Bosa is having the standout year that he's having as a rookie. And just 3, because he would be tied with Nick Bosa right now if it wasn't for that horse collar, which really didn't look like a horse collar. It looked like it was a horse collar because it was black on black, but it was close. But to me, D Ford in this defense is just as important as Nick Bosa is right now. Right. Because the guy, there's nothing else you can say. He's eating. Dude, he's got 6 sacks in probably 50 or 60 less snaps than Nick Bosa has. I don't know if it's really that high, but I mean,
right? No, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, man.
I would guess that it's that. I would guess that it's probably at least 30 to 40 snaps more than.
I can. I have the site with the snap count really quick. Let me. Phone's gonna die. Let me turn my brightness back up so I can see the screen though. 49ers snap count. Boom and boom. And for the season, we have on defense. Dante Johnson's on here. I'm sorry. 180. 180 for D Ford. Nick Bosa has 311. Holy smokes.
Oh, so it's way more than 60.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying.
So he got 131 more snaps than him, bro.
131 more snaps and one less sack.
Imagine him getting healthy in the offseason.
Bro.
Oh, we're going to be so much better next year.
How many sacks does Defoe have? Does he have 5 or 6?
DeForest Buckner?
No, not Defoe, D Ford. Sorry.
Oh, no, you're good. All right, here we go. I'm gonna click his name. That's all.
I think it's 6. I think he had 5 going into this game, and he got another one.
He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5. If you're reading PFF, they'll tell you 6.
All right, so 5.5 sacks, and Nick Bosa has 7. So let's just say a sack and a half less in over 130 more snaps. Like
it's pretty incredible, isn't it?
And people
think about that. That's 2 full games worth.
I saw somebody say, but look at the difference in what we're paying D Ford and look what the difference we're paying Nick Bosa. Well, obviously we're not paying Nick Bosa a lot because he's a rookie. And when Nick Bosa goes to get paid, he's going to get paid way more than D Ford's getting paid. So for a guy to look, if and when the Niners make the playoffs this year, look for D Ford to be unleashed. Like,
you think they're gonna like ramp him up?
Oh, I really think so. I think they're playing him right now because it's working. If this defensive line wasn't getting the pressures that we're getting, D Ford would be playing more right now. But since they're getting the pressure that we're getting,
they're like, we don't need to let them. We don't
need
need to let
friggin' need for the long run. Like, save it. You got 5.5 sacks in 8 games, right? And in 180 snaps, bro.
That's a great ratio. I'm sorry, but it is. It's really impressive.
That's insane. That's insane. And really, if you look at it by snaps and production wise, he's the most productive player on the defensive line right now.
And it's not close on a per snap basis. Yes.
Yeah, but that's crazy.
Yeah. Good talk there, man. All right. I'm back on the D4 train now. Whew, I was shaky for a little bit, but my man Nick talked me back into it. Let's go, baby.
Nothing to talk you back into. The dude is eating.
He is. He has been an absolute stud, man. I don't have much else to talk about as far as this game goes. And guys, again, this is going to be part 1 of our Who Are the 49ers. We have played 8 games. The 49ers are 8-0. And we are going to break down the offense. What we're going to try to do this week is we're going to do 2 videos on offense, 2 videos on defense. And both of them are going to talk about the run game and then the pass game. So we're going to try to break them all down. We're going to bring you guys a bunch of statistics, a bunch of boring stuff. Speaking of, I do have a whole bunch of stuff here from PFF. If you had any questions about it, I can tell you our offensive grades for the game. Our highest graded player on offense was George Kittle. Surprise, surprise. Which actually, I'm not going to – let me take that back. That actually was a surprise to me. How did Jimmy Garoppolo not get the highest graded offensive player this game? I know George Kittle was phenomenal. I get it. But, bro, what else could Jimmy do to be the highest graded person on this offense last game?
Yeah, I mean, it's so weird because George Kittle still had – well, he only had 1 drop pass, but I guess they considered that a PBU. And the other pass to him was thrown out of bounds. So he had 8 targets with 6 receptions. So he actually caught all 6. So I can't say that either. I don't know.
It was just so weird to me.
140 quarterback rating, and you're still not the highest rated player on the
offense, right? That's nuts, right? I said surprise, but no, that one really, really was a surprise to me. I didn't get it. Yeah, I don't know. Jimmy Garoppolo came in second. Now, you guys already know that we take PFF with a grain of salt, but it is fun to look at and see if it aligns with what you think you saw during the game. What I saw was Jimmy Garoppolo being the best player on the offensive side of the ball. But check this out. Under them, the next highest graded player is Lincoln Tomlinson, bro. This has been such a good get. And as much as I wanted,
y'all hated.
Yeah, like
y'all hated him and Person, and they're both like holding shit down on the interior, bro.
Bro, the offensive interior. Listen to this. Number 1, George Kittle, 91.1. That's an elite grade. Jimmy Garoppolo's 85.9. Not quite elite, but still it's up there. Lincoln Tomlinson, 80 even. Okay. Then there's Emmanuel Sanders at 4 with 77.7. That's a godly number. And then number 5 is Mike Person, 74.7, bro. Like it's pretty impressive, man. Our top 5 players, 2 of them are the interior offensive linemen, 1's your quarterback, tight end, and wide receiver. That's really, really impressive, Nick. And it shows good balance too. And then right underneath there, number 6 on the outside looking in, 6 and 7 are Matt Breida and Kendrick Bourne, respectively.
It's funny because, you're like, not you specifically, but I'm not trying to call you out on this, but with Person, you're like, oh, well, they didn't really want him back. It was just like bring him back because we couldn't sign anybody. But this guy, since he's been here, has been legitimate. Like he's been legitimate.
He listens to it. He knows the crap I'm talking. He's got to shut me up every single week.
No, he hasn't been a liability. And the other thing that Laken Tomlinson has gotten better at is not a penalty every single game. Like he was good for a hold or a false start. And he's been really good. God, knock on wood. Please don't happen in Seattle.
Hold on. Let me see if he had any. Hold on. Let me pull it up. They do tell you if he had a penalty. There was a penalty. George Kittle had a penalty. How was he rated higher? Never mind. Let me chill. Let me stop. Lincoln Tomlinson did not have a penalty this game. Let's see the last time he did have a penalty. Hold on. That's week 9.
Washington, I believe it was.
Week 8, he did not have a penalty.
It was either week 6 or week 7.
Didn't have one week 7 either. Here we go, week 6. Where the hell is he at on week 6? Damn, I got to look for his name. He's not a top 14 rated player. He must have had a penalty. Lincoln Tomlinson. Jesus, he was the 17th rated player. He still didn't have a penalty, though. He had that bad of a game. What game was this? Who do we play in week 6? The Rams? Holy smokes.
Yeah, I think
he was literally the lowest rated player on offense. All right, but still no penalties though. Hold on. So let's see how long it's been. Like he was legitimately the Mikey Potty. Like, I mean, not Mikey Potty. Who was our defensive guy? Ahmad Brooks.
Yeah.
Ahmad Brooks that got a penalty, like a false start. Or it felt like every game. Like that. I mean, not a false start, an offsides or encroachment penalty. All right, let me look for Lincoln Tomlinson again here. We are going all the way across. Boom. This is his last penalty right here. This was week 5 against the Browns. 1 penalty. So that's a solid stretch, man. That's a solid stretch, Nick.
Which week was it that he had the penalty? Week 5?
Yeah, against the Browns. Yep.
Okay. So, yeah, I mean, that's a hefty stretch for him. Bro, we were used to seeing that, like, once a game.
Yeah.
So,
every single.
And I mean, he's going up against he's gone up against Aaron Donalds and Myles Garrett's and, so that's really good. But I've been impressed. I've been impressed with our interior line. Like,
yeah,
I really don't even think it's like a first round pick next year. Like, I really don't. Like, I think we could still, we can't pick in the 3rd or the 2nd or the 4th. So it might be a 5th round pick next year for an offensive lineman.
Yeah, I agree, man. I don't know if we're gonna go down to a fifth, but I think an offensive lineman might still be one of our top 2 picks. I just don't know when those picks happen. I think the
Right,
Niners
but I mean, it's either in the first or the fifth.
Well, no, I think we're gonna trade down though.
Oh,
That's
well,
what I'm
yeah,
saying.
we trade down. But I'm just saying, as is right now, it would probably be the 5th round if we
Yeah.
don't trade out of the first. I don't think we're going to take a guard.
Tomlinson signed a 3-year deal when he came back, right? It wasn't just a 1-year deal.
Yeah, 3 years for him, 3 years for Person, 5 years for Richburg.
I meant Person. That's what I meant to say. Person signed a 3-year deal when we picked him up, right?
Yeah, Person has a 3-year, I believe. 5 years for Richburg. Tomlinson is on a 3-year deal. Staley just signed another extension, so that's 3 years till 2021, I believe. And then McGlinchey's here for 5, and that's everybody.
Holy smokes. They're trying to
So
keep
for
this
the
line.
next at least 3 years, we have this line together. And then you have School and Brunskill.
And you got School and Brunskill. Listen. And Nick, and the next year, now that's just the offensive line, right? Now we're going to get another running back in here because I got a feeling, I'm not going to say it now, but we're going to make some more moves on the offensive side of the ball, right? That's the offense. The defense is going to get better next year, Nick. Think about how crazy that is. We're going to get Quan Alexander back. We're going to get a healthy D Ford, a healthy, consistently contributing D Ford, Nick.
I think we get that back before the end of the year.
Oh my God! No, I don't. I think he's going to have an off-season surgery. That's why I say that. But we'll see.
Oh yeah. He already said he's going to have off-season surgery. So somebody asked that question earlier. Do we think we'll ever see a healthy D Ford, or do we think that it will be an issue for the rest of his career? I think that after this offseason, we'll get a healthy D Ford next year, and then that's going to be a healthy D Ford, a Nick Bosa who's been in the league for a year already, as well as winning Defensive Player of the Year or Defensive Rookie of the Year, either one. I don't know if you can win both. Actually, you can. I think who won it both? Lawrence Taylor? Is the only defensive player to win Rookie of the Year and Defensive Player of the Year?
I know Lawrence Taylor has a. I think he's the only rookie player to win.
Well, that's what I mean. As a rookie, yeah.
I don't think he won Defensive Player of the Year though. I think he won league MVP, didn't he?
I don't know. That's weird.
I think he's the only rookie to win league. I think. Hold on. I can tell you. Let's just Google it. Lawrence Taylor Rookie Award. Boom. I recorded 9.5 sack Rookie of the Year and Defensive Player of the Year.
So he won both. I think he's the only player to ever do it. So
rookie to win an Offensive or Defensive Player of the Year award.
So it'll be interesting to see if Bosa can do that, man. That's making history.
He did that with 9.5 sacks.
Yeah, with 9.5 sacks.
He must have been causing some freaking havoc. Because 9.5 sacks ain't that impressive.
Well, it is back then because it was more of a run-heavy game. It wasn't as much of a passing game then. So, you know what I mean? Like, you look at those 9.5, 10.5 sacks a year, we're like, holy cow. And then the league turned into a passing league and is now slowly starting to go back to a run league. You know, it's just crazy. Plus he's got that interception this year, so that'll be interesting.
NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year and Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
So I guess technically he didn't win league MVP though. So, all right. We'll finish up with this PFF thing really quick. Who do you think were the lowest rated offensive players last week? Just give me 2 names and we'll see if they make the lowest.
Lowest offensive. I'm gonna go with an offensive lineman, Justin School, and let me go with Deebo Samuel.
Wow. Okay. It is an offensive lineman, but it's Weston Richburg. He's the second lowest, according to PFF. And then the worst guy was Levine Toilolo. I thought Jeff Wilson would have been down there. I can't remember Jeff Wilson doing. He had a catch and then he had that horrible run attempt. But
that run attempt didn't count.
Right, that's what I'm saying. It was more about the blocking and it didn't count. But it was just
I'm saying like it didn't physically count as a play because it was a timeout. So
no, I know. But yeah,
that's weird though. Richburg, he's like one of the highest rated linemen in the league right now.
That wasn't last game though. All right, so now we're gonna flip it to offense. I want you to try to see if you can guess some of the. I'm gonna see if you can get 3 of them in the top 5. So give me 3 names. Let's see if they can be in the top 5.
For lowest or highest?
Highest, the best guys.
3 highest on the defensive side of the football. I'm gonna go with. This is gonna be interesting. Sheldon Day.
Did you mean to say Sheldon Day?
Yeah.
You said that on purpose?
Yeah.
Number 96.
I mean DJ Jones. I'm sorry.
Oh, I just wanted to make sure. I was
I'm thinking Sheldon Day and DJ Jones. No, DJ Jones. My bad.
Okay.
Day didn't even take a snap. I don't think. DJ Jones, Fred Warner, and D Ford.
All right, you got 1 right. Where the hell is D Ford on here? Hold on, I want to see where.
You know what? The penalty probably killed D Ford.
I don't think he qualified. He's not on the list at all.
So not.
Oh wait, never mind. He is. He's number 6 though. He's tied for 6 because him and someone else have the exact same rating. Okay. DJ Jones is number 1. DeForest Buckner is number 2. When you hear the names, you're gonna be like, of course I should have guessed them.
He had a
DJ
sack.
Jones number 1, DeForest Buckner number 2, Nick Bosa number 3, Richard Sherman number 4. Number 5 is the surprise. DJ Reed. DJ Reed's number 5. Eric Armstead and D Ford tied for 6. So
I wouldn't even thought DJ Reed even had that many, like to qualify for that much because he didn't come until late.
4 snaps, Nick.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like how
I don't know how they count it. I don't know.
Like how can he qualify
right
amongst all those other guys when one guy probably played 50 snaps compared to 4?
It's PFF, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. And who do you think was the lowest guy? You can try to name. Oh, this is painful. Oh, this hurts.
I'm gonna go with Emmanuel Mosley.
Oh, damn, you tight about that one play, huh? Mosley he finished tied with 10th with Dre Greenlaw. But the lowest rated guy was Azeez Al-Shaair, who also only played 4 snaps.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Above him was Jaquaski Tart.
Yeah, Jaquaski had a really bad game, bro.
He took a lot of bad angles that game, man.
Oh my God, did he ever? I mean, Ward didn't play that well either in the box, like with tackling this week.
Yeah, Ward finished 13th, but that's out of 18. You got to remember, only 18 guys took defensive snaps, so finishing 13th ain't that hot. Emmanuel Mosley and Dre Greenlaw tied for 10. Ronald Blair above them. Quan Alexander finished with 12. It was just not good. But yeah, so that's your little PFF section for you guys. Is there anything else you want me to look at PFF for before I shut this one off, close this tab?
No, that's it.
All right, but yeah, so 1, 2, 3 sacks. Let's see who had the most quarterback hits. It's weird. A sack doesn't count as a hit. I guess you don't want to block up the stat sheet like that, right? Nick Bosa had the most hurries with 3. Buckner had 2. Ford had 2. And Jones had 1. Ford, guess how many snaps he played? Actually, more than I thought he did, honestly. But
I would say 19 or 20.
26. That's what I thought. It felt like 19 or 20 felt right to me. He says 26 here. So
that's crazy. So their numbers are getting up more. His numbers are getting up more.
Yeah. One interesting stat that they chart is called it stops. So it's like it stops these guys from, it's not like it's a. I'm trying to think of how they have a definition for a stop. So I'll just read it to you guys. It says tackles that constitute a failure for the offense. So I don't know if that means like they didn't get a first down.
Tackle for a loss of a yard.
Right. But it can't be that because Defoe has 3. And I would have remember seeing 3 TFLs. But if it was like a 3rd and 1 and they stopped, or 3rd and 2, but they didn't get the first down, I think that counts as a stop. I'm just not sure if it makes. I'm not sure if it means any tackle where it doesn't.
Jeff on our show. Like we need to bring him on here to explain the grading system.
Who?
Jeff from PFF, the guy who does the PFF for the 49ers.
You'll have to ask him.
I will. I'm going to ask him.
I spent the last 2 years blasting him. He ain't going to respond to me, bro.
I'll try to get him on here. Like, because I just want to hear how this grading system is actually done and the breakdown of the anatomy of a breakdown of a play of PFF.
And there's only so much they're allowed to say because if we tell you how our grading system works, you'll make up your own type of thing. You know what I mean? Like, so there's only so much they're allowed to say in here. But it's right.
But like, I want to see, like, remember that question that I posed to you the other day was about wide receiver drops. Like, if the ball goes off their hand as an intercepted, that's not considered. Is that considered a drop in PFF or is it just considered an interception? So like, just those kind of things that like we were talking about. Like, I'd like to see how they get to that grading portion because some of it's very confusing. I mean, we just saw it right there. You got 4 snaps and you got, this guy is rated the 4th best graded player of that day,
Mm-hmm. You want to guess how many drops we had for the last game?
1. No. Yeah, 1. That I remember.
According to this, Deebo Samuels had 2, both against Byron Murphy.
Oh, that's right. He did have 2.
Tevin Coleman had 1.
Yep. Man, I'm like so out of it. Yeah, because I said it in the beginning of the show. The touchdown drop by Deebo, the one in coverage across for the first down he missed. He didn't even need to jump, like dive for. He could have just stayed on route and would have caught it. The one to Tevin Coleman because of the missed catch in the backfield, which he would have ran a long-ass way. The one for George Kittle was, I consider, a PBU. I don't know if they use it as a breakup or a drop pass.
Yeah, it's a lot of weird stuff when you look at all this. I don't know how it all equates to anything, but 3 drops for the 49ers there. That's it. That's it, man. I'm done. I got nothing else. Anything for you?
It was 3 drops though total.
Yeah, the whole team. Only 3 drops. Yeah, 2 by Samuel, 1 by Tevin Coleman.
Yes, it's crazy, man. Excuse me.
All right, guys. That's going to be it. Again, guys, make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button. Hit those alerts also, guys, because you're going to want to know when we're bringing these videos to you guys. The earlier we know what time we're doing the videos, the bigger of the warning you guys will get. I think YouTube defaults to a half hour early, right? And Facebook is as soon as we make the post. So depending on how you're watching this is how soon you'll know. YouTube will notify you half hour before. Facebook is immediately when we make the post. So some of you guys on Facebook, you saw a lot earlier. That's going to be it for us for this one. This is going to be part 1. Who are the 49ers? I can't wait to get into this. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. I've been looking at some numbers already, and this team they're really good. This is a really, really good football team. And the parts that we're not good at, a lot of it's self-inflicted. A lot of it is correctable stuff, Nick.
It goes back to what I've been saying pretty much since week 5, I guess you could say, like after the bye week. I'm really not worried about any teams that we're facing. Now, don't get me wrong, we're going to lose some games. But I really believe that the only team that can beat us right now is ourselves. And we saw that as, a close one in Arizona. that Arizona wasn't beating us. We were beating ourselves. And I think that's what it comes down to. But I'll tell you what, Mike, I cannot wait to dig into the Seattle game because this game is way more important than anybody thinks. This game could literally put us as a 3-game hold on the division lead and 2 games up for the number 1 seed. It's pretty big. And then once we play Green Bay, that's going to put us even Green Bay and New Orleans. It's going to come down to that Green Bay. Well, it's going to come down to Seattle. This next stretch right here, this next month, man, is going to tell us where we're at. If we can win 3 out of these 5, we're set. Like, we're set, man. That'll be 11. That'll be 11-3.
Hey, we're going 13-2. We're going 12-4 at the absolute worst. 13-3. Like that. I got 13-3. That's what I'm riding on. 13-3. But
yeah, it's going to be interesting. But look, it doesn't. It starts right now, man. Monday night, primetime game, playing against the leading MVP of the league right now, and Russell Wilson. If depending on who you listen to, and a Dookie secondary.
Yeah, we should pick them apart, but never mind. We'll talk about that later. I don't want. I got a lot to say about the plan of attack, and I have a lot of questions about it, so I'm not going to get into it. But I do want to know this really quick. Is this the first time in the last 5, 6, 7, maybe even more longer, the Niners have gone from a Thursday night game to a Monday night game? I can't remember waiting this long for the 49ers to play football.
Yeah, didn't we kind of
Monday?
Oh, well, we didn't play Thursday, I don't think. We didn't play. That was our first Thursday night game this year, right? Because if you remember the bye week, we were off 12 days too.
No, but what I'm saying is we're playing in back-to-back weeks. This is literally as long as you can go without playing again.
Yeah.
It's a really long gap. I don't know if the Niners have ever done a Thursday night to the following Monday night before.
It's only 10 days, right?
Yeah, you got Thursday to Thursday is 7, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Mondays. No, it's 11 It's 11 days.
11 days.
Well, 10 days. 10 days between games, technically, but
right. Yeah, the game is on the 11th day. So I mean, this. I think
it's a freaking bye week, bro.
I think they did this too because we had a week 4 bye. So you're actually getting another technical bye later in the season. Mm. So I bet if you go back and look at people who have had early.
The Chargers. It was us and the Chargers that had the week 4 bye. I can pull up the schedule real quick.
Right, and they play Thursday night this week, and then they probably play the following Sunday, which would be the same amount of time. It's just a 9-day. It's 10 days technically.
Preseason. All right, so the Chargers. Let me just make sure. Preseason. All right, they played the 8th. They played the 15th and the 22nd. 29th, that's 4. Oh no, they didn't have. Who the hell had the week 4 bye with us?
I don't think anybody had a bye with us.
No, it's two teams to a bye at least. Oh man, hold on. NFL week 4 bye.
Yeah, you sure? I think it was only us, dude.
I could be wrong. Let me see. Week 4. Oh, the Jets and the 49ers. That's what it was. The Jets.
Okay, so the Jets. So the Jets.
You can't have an odd number of teams with a bye because it's 32
Oh yeah,
teams.
well, because it's 32 teams. Yeah. So do they have a Thursday then a Monday game?
I'm looking at the schedule now. So the Jets play. They might have even done it already. Just looking for a big gap here. That's 7 days. That's technically 8 days, but that's not it. That's not it. That's their bye right there. That ain't it. That's 7. That's 7. That's 7. That's 7. That's 7. The Jets got screwed. That's 7. That's 4. Oh wait. So they go from December 12th to December 22nd.
Yeah, so that's a break. That's their second break right there.
So that's a 10-day. I don't know what those dates are. December 12th to the 22nd.
I'll tell you.
I got
December 12th is a Thursday, and the
then
22nd is a Sunday.
wait, the 12th to the 20. Wait, what the? How the hell can that happen? Oh yeah. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's they're playing on the 10th day. It's that Sunday.
Yeah.
So they skip a weekend. Well, they skip 2 weekends. Well,
they just play Sunday, so it's not.
Yeah.
It's still.
They just skip 1 weekend and then play Sunday.
Yeah.
Instead of Monday. So
I've never seen Thursday to a Monday before. I just don't. Not that I've ever paid attention to anyway. So, all right, that's it. We wasted enough time here.
You guys learned something. I hope a little bit.
Yeah. All right. You want to run down through the formalities again really quick? I'll do the clicking and get up out of here.
Yeah, guys, if this is your first time here or following us on YouTube, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. It's right down there, bottom corner, one or the other. You can also check us out on all of our social media avenues. Check us out on Twitter and Snapchat. That's nothing but 9ERS. And that's the number 9. If you check us out on Facebook and Instagram, which you are right now, make sure that you click at the top of the description for StreamYard to allow StreamYard to get access to your profile and stuff so that we can see your name come up in the comments under, instead of just a Facebook user, it'll show us your picture and your name so that we can, when we do go through our chat and highlight chats and stuff like that, we can actually acknowledge who you are. So make sure you give that to them. And that's Nothing But Niners, all spelled out. And you can visit us on our website, www.nothingbutniners.com, where we have a bunch of great writers over there putting out articles left and right. You got Mike dropping his keys to victory, bold predictions, Kevin, and Kev Mitchell with some keys to victory and things like that. Over there. Also, if you want to send us any of your pictures, I got a ton of pictures, guys. I'm sorry, I've been a little under the weather, so I really haven't uploaded the pictures that you guys sent us, but I did get them. Just so you know, I will put them up. Just give me some time. I apologize that they're not up yet, but if you want to send us any pictures of your apparel that you're wearing, your vehicles, your girlfriends wearing Niner stuff, you, whatever it is, your family, send them over to that email, nb9ers@nothingbutniners.com, and we'll put those up once I get ready back to it. Also, if you want any of our apparel, we got the Birth of a Dynasty hoodies, T-shirts, whatever color you want. They come in dry fit shirts, guys. They come in regular T-shirts. They come in regular hoodies. Pretty much any color that you could possibly think of. We also have the Stone Cold Kittle shirts. You can check those out as well. Like I said, you can get those in T-shirts, dry fit shirts. If you want one for the gym, you can get a dry fit. So just send us over an email, and I'll email you back, and we'll talk about that. And other than that, man, like Mike just put up on the screen, all gas, no break. This game's going to be a lot of fun. Can't wait to dig into it. And that's it for me.
All right, guys. I won't say anything else except for prepare for glory.
Anticipate pain.
Always remain faithful.
We out of here. Peace.